Virus are now being monitored in the United States. News Nation's Jessica Cartalia.
17 Americans and 1 British passenger are now being treated here in the U.S. Most of the passengers are still being monitored in Omaha, Nebraska at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. At least 1 American has tested positive for the virus, but officials say that that person has not shown many symptoms. For now, they are being held separately in a biocontainment unit. 2 other passengers, a couple, were taken to Emory University Hospital in Atlanta. One of them is showing symptoms.
There are now 11 confirmed cases of hantavirus from this cruise ship. That includes 3 confirmed deaths.
Emotional testimony today at a House Oversight Committee hearing into the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation and document release. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
An Epstein survivor identified as Rosa says she was subjected to repeated sex abuse and rape. And despite efforts to protect her identity, her name has appeared more than 500 times in court records after the Justice Department's release of the files.
My name was exposed to the world. Now reporters from across the globe contact me. I cannot live without looking over my shoulder. I can only imagine the long-term impact this mistake will have on my life.
The field hearing took place in Palm Beach, Florida.
Palm Beach, Florida is where Epstein's crimes first came to light and where prosecutors offered Epstein a deal that allowed him to continue his crimes.
Up next, hoping to keep a winning streak alive.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:04.
What do you want retirement to look like? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. For some people, retirement means travel and new adventures. For others, it means spending more time with family or pursuing passions they never had time for before. But turning those goals into a reality takes thoughtful planning. It's not just about saving money. It's about designing an income strategy that supports the life you want while helping your savings last throughout retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help Wisconsin families connect their financial plan with their lifestyle goals, building strategies designed to help support both today's needs and tomorrow's opportunities. My complimentary retirement toolkit can help you begin that process. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 guides covering income planning, taxes, and retirement strategies.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers carry a 4-game winning streak into tonight's contest against the first-place Padres.
They're one of the best teams in baseball. Look at their lineup. Look at what they've done. Look at their record. They've done well against us over the last 3 years, and we'll have a big challenge.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy gives the ball to Brandon Sproat in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Christian Yelich has been reinstated from the 10-day injured list. Our coverage starts at 6:05 on WTMJ. And the Broncos and Chiefs will square off in the season's first Monday night football game of the season. The Bills' first regular season game in their new stadium will be against the Detroit Lions and kick off Amazon Prime Video's Thursday night football schedule. The international schedule will be revealed tomorrow.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:07.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, They're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
It's a little bit warmer today. Temps are beginning to rise, and they're going to rise throughout the week, so that is really good news.
You had a great last night.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little later, but you're right. The Armed Forces dinner in Milwaukee. It's Armed Forces Week, so they have stuff every day this week. The big dinner was last night. Incredible display of patriotism, red, white, and blue. Doesn't matter what party you belong to. It was really, really cool. So thanks for bringing that up. I'll get into that a little bit more later on. First, the stories that we're tracking right now.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
A really great friend of the show is the Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, in Waukesha. It's a no-kill shelter. We have word right now, as we speak, they are in Dane County, a team of 4, and they are grabbing 24 of the Beagles on Ridgeland Farms.
24?
Right
Wow.
now. So, we've talked about many different issues, including the fact that some of the other shelters have seen, little things that are different for these animals that have been raised to be tested medically for different things, specifically vaccines with Ridgeland Farms. So that includes the fact that they're not used to drinking out of water bowls.
That one's amazing to me. I hadn't thought about that.
It's the littlest things,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited to talk to Jennifer Smea with the Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS Waukesha, coming up at 4:35. 4:35, okay? So there's going to be big updates because as we speak right now, they're picking up the Beagles.
Right now, bringing it back here to Waukesha. So that'll be great. It'll be great to have her joining us live. Number 2, Julia, is the Nancy Guthrie case. So today is kind of a sad milestone. 100 days ago is when Nancy Guthrie, the mother of TV news anchor Savannah Guthrie, went missing. The Arizona sheriff leading the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie told a reporter that his department is closer to solving the case. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos spoke to the reporter in the parking lot of the department. He's basically stopped talking to the media, but this reporter tracked him down and got a couple questions into him. The reporter asked Nanos if the department was any closer to solving the disappearance of Guthrie. The sheriff said, "We are," and then got in his vehicle and shut the door. Guthrie, 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie, has been missing since January 31st, Authorities believe she was taken against her will from her Tucson home. Her home surveillance camera captured a masked man outside. Previously, authorities said blood identified as Guthrie's was found outside the house. They've now said it was mixed DNA. And one more quote. They said, "We believe we know why the kidnapper did this, and we believe it was targeted." That according to the sheriff. And on Sunday, Savannah Guthrie posted an emotional Mother's Day message on social media saying, "We'll never stop looking for you. We will never be at peace until we found you." And more than $1 million in rewards is being offered.
And number 3, there was a big naming contest by We Energies. So all of the We Energies plants, they're so high up that peregrine falcons that are endangered species, they created little nest boxes.
It's cool.
So they've been able to keep that population alive. So there was 10 eggs, and they decided to have a contest, a naming contest, from on-air talent on television and the host of 620 WTMJ. Okay? There were nearly 30,000 votes cast for these names. Okay? And John Mercure won 620 WTMJ. He's going to be named after a Port Washington chick. There's all these different locations, so it's going to be Port Washington. Flown Mercure will be banded.
Oh, that sounded like the little falcon.
Flown Mercure will be banded. He'll be tracked.
That's so fun.
And by the way, you can tell if it's a boy or girl even as a little chick. You know that?
No, you can, really?
The girls are bigger.
Oh.
They have even their feet.
No kidding.
When their chicks are bigger.
So I'm looking right now at the 3 falcons at Port Washington. The mama or the daddy, we don't know which one because they both sit on the chicks, is grooming the little falcons, and one of the 3 we're looking at is Flown Mercure.
Is little Flown Mercure? Okay,
I just don't know which one.
So, John, how do you feel?
I'm excited. I'm really excited. You know I love the falcons. You brought a live falcon into the studio to surprise me.
Right.
About a year ago.
Over the years, we've been just adoring these We Energies live cams. I saw them advertising it on
It's cool.
at AmFam, and it's just a nice little thing. And then, John's been going crazy. I love birds. So I brought one in because it was federally, you cannot bring in the chicks because they're federally protected.
Yeah.
So
you tried, though.
I did. The Audubon had one that was an ambassador and was an injured peregrine. So we brought that in, and I surprised John. And now John is named after a We Energies chick.
The cool thing is they're going to ban the falcons and attach numbers to them, and they're rolling out a new tracking technology this year. It's brand new. So they say they'll be able to tell where Flown Mercure is wherever it goes.
So if you want to see the other winners as well from the other television stations, we were the only radio station, text Falcon to 855-616-1620. Falcon to 855-616-1620. Our friend of the show and personal friend, Brian Nestnansky, won TMJ4.
And thank you to everybody who voted. I thank you for voting. I really appreciate that. And I'm jazzed as hell. It is 3:14 at WTMJ.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Appliance Gallery. It's right here in Milwaukee on Wisconsin Avenue. It is amazing. When you go in, they just have one central location, locally owned. It is the most up-to-date luxury showroom in our state, featuring the highest-end appliances you can think of. Luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. You have to go in and see for yourself. Look, see, and feel the quality of these luxury products that will last. Walk in and explore the showroom, or head to ApplianceGalleryWI.com. That's ApplianceGalleryWI.com.
The second you hear this,
fly ball left center.
You know exactly who it is.
Strong is on the move. He's running out of room. It's gone!
Brewers play-by-play man, Jeff Levering. And he's our Brewers 360 guest every Wednesday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I think it's a totally different story from Miz, but he does need to learn how to communicate. It's not a bad thing if you're done after 5. That's okay.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Ottawanami Casino Hotel, Hannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Traffic is sponsored by Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center. Burghardt Sporting Goods. Visit them today in New Berlin.
All right, let's check those roads with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, Flown. Thanks so much. Westbound 94 is going to be a bit backed up as you're making your way from 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Remember, we do have a crash on the ramp from 175 southbound to eastbound 94 in the Stadium interchange, so watch out for that. Otherwise, delays basically from Mitchell Boulevard to 35th. Southbound 41, heavy from Good Hope Road all the way down to about Capitol Drive. Northbound, backing up from just before North Avenue all the way up past Hampton. Southbound 43, also heavy from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, showers ending, a low of 43 degrees. Not quite as chilly as the past couple of nights. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 60. Thursday, sunny, a high of 62. Friday, it warms up for the weekend big time. Friday, rain is possible, a high of 74. Saturday is sunny with a high of 80 degrees.
So I could never top being named after a peregrine falcon like John just was.
You had a pretty good day today, though, too.
I did.
There was a big box sitting on my desk that said Julia Fellow, and so I gave it to you.
From Marcus Theaters. So if you were listening to the show last week, we had the new president, Jeff Tomachek, president of Marcus Theaters. We were talking about how I had just seen Devil Wears Prada at their North Shore. He was wondering if I went to the big screen. I said, of course. Second level, row G.
You guys were so in the zone talking about that movie.
So vibing.
Yeah.
If you text watch to 855-616-1620, watch to our setting and limited talk and text line, you can see me doing the unboxing because he had promised me something.
Oh my gosh.
Now, you know how the popcorn, there's some special popcorn, like, the Avengers. You can have you can
popcorn
eat,
containers,
you
cool
eat
popcorn containers.
Like you can eat popcorn from Tony Stark's helmet. Well, he told me that there's a Devil Wears Prada Birkin popcorn holder.
Ooh, look at that. Is that what that is?
And he sent it to me.
That is so cool.
And then what came with it, I
That's
wasn't expecting this.
Fancy. That's fancy. What is that? A fancy little keychain with the stiletto?
It says The Devil Wears Prada 2 only in theaters, and it has the heel with, the devil little...
The pitchfork thing.
The pitchfork?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That is so cute.
Do you want me to read the letter that he sent me? So if you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, WATCH to our setting limit talk and text line, you can see it. It says, Julia, it was wonderful meeting you and John Tuesday. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about Marcus Theaters and the movie industry. Your enthusiasm for moviegoing is very much appreciated. Enjoy the movies. And then he signed it, Jeff Tomachek, president of Marcus Theaters.
That is so nice. That's so thoughtful.
So classy. And if you haven't seen Devil Wears Prada 2, it is absolutely incredible. Such an experience. The sequels usually aren't good. Usually they don't live up to
But this one was good.
Everything was so good.
How long did we have to wait? Was it 20 years?
20 years.
Wow.
And this is the closest I'll ever get to a Birkin. Ever.
That is so
Thank
fun.
You.
You should see the video, too. So, Nate, leave the video up during the break and text, and you can see it.
Text WATCH to 855-616-1620.
It is 3:20 at WTMJ. We've got a hero we want you to meet. That's up next.
Roger Daltrey of The Who. A great night out with his electric acoustic band performing Who hits, Who rarities, and gems from his solo career. Roger Daltrey. September 15th, the Riverside Theater. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at papstheatergroup.com.
Thank you so much.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in beautiful Menominee Falls. I'm actually going to be going there tomorrow. I'm going to be getting my NAD treatments. What that is that they have wellness services. I wanted to do something a little more naturally to get my energy back up. I'm going to be 41 next month, and they're going to be doing that. They have nurse practitioners on site. The owner is a nurse practitioner, Katie Sweetman. They also offer injectables, advanced skin treatments, and those wellness services I'm talking about. They really care about you. It is a journey. Head to sweettalks.com. They're ready to be with you. sweettalks.com in Menominee Falls.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
The Milwaukee Auto Show. Bolder and better. At its new location, discover new cars and trucks, plus high-end luxury vehicles, classics, and more. The 14th through the 17th at Wisconsin State Fair Park Expo Center. Tickets at autoshowmilwaukee.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha, and they've got something big going on. I mean, really big. It's the Ford American Value for American Values employee pricing event. That's right. Right now, you pay what employees pay. That's employee pricing on a huge selection of new Fords, and here's what really stands out about that. Griffin Ford has one of the largest inventories in Wisconsin, so you're not settling. You're picking exactly what you want, from the pickups to the heavy-duty trucks. Maybe it's a fun little car. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I bought my all-time favorite vehicle, the Ford Explorer. With the auto show coming up, a lot of people are starting to shop, but you don't have to wait. Do it now. The deals are already here. If you've been thinking about a new truck or SUV, now is the time. Stop into Griffin Ford on Main Street in Waukesha. Easy to get to right off the interstate, or shop online at griffinford.com. Griffin Ford, best service, best selection. Jim Griffin's team's going to take great care of you. Griffin Ford, where value meets selection.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 12th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the San Diego Padres.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 12th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Are you a no-mow May person? Do you not mow your lawn during May because you're helping the pollinators, biodiversity, protecting the insects in your yard? There are rules you need to be following so that you don't ruin people's yards who are actually mowing their lawn. We're going to go through No Mow May. I'd like to hear from you, actually. If you want to shoot us a text, why do you do it? Is it because you're protecting the pollinators, or is it because you're lazy and you think you don't have to mow your grass for a month?
Shorewood does that hardcore.
Oh, of
Hardcore.
course. Yeah, the people in their Birkenstocks in Shorewood are not mowing their lawn for sure.
I live in Shorewood right now.
They want no mow spring. They don't want to mow their lawn at all. Why do you do this? Do you do it?
Birkenstocks.
855-616-1620. First, before we get you to the news at the bottom of the hour, it's time to recognize another everyday hero.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's morning news celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. A very unique everyday hero today, one from right here in Wisconsin, and it's one where the student becomes the teacher. In Appleton, Fox Valley Technical College, EMS instructor Carl Arps is teaching his class. He has 6 EMS students there, and they're discussing the symptoms of a heart attack when he starts to show symptoms.
Carl has done scenarios where he plays the part pretty good. Oh, yeah. This is like, how you could deserve an Oscar.
That's Logan Lear and some of the other students talking there to NBC 26 about Carl, who's in his 70s, and how he would demonstrate and simulate having heart attacks. Well, in this case,
you could see like discoloration on his face, and be like, okay, this is for real now.
Yeah, he was having a real heart attack. So the EMS team started doing compressions, alternated doing CPR, called 911, helped get him into the ambulance. They saved his life.
I had a heart attack, a widowmaker. I was dead.
Carl talking to NBC 26, lucky to be alive because only 10% of people who have a heart attack outside of a hospital survive.
I'm 1 in a million. I feel like 1 in a trillion.
Thanks to these 6 EMS students at Fox Valley Technical College, they are everyday heroes. Plus, Carl himself, a hero for teaching future heroes. They all deserve A's, right, Carl?
I can't test them out because I'm too prejudiced, but they definitely, everybody got 100% on CPR.
A's all around. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Everyday Hero on WTMJ. It is 3:27 at WTMJ. How about the markets? It was kind of a weird day. So the inflation report came out in the morning, and the markets went down. They're like, oh, we're out of here. And they just tumbled big time. Then the losses were trimmed as we headed through the day. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management detailed look at the markets. The Dow actually ended up after all of that. It was up 56 points. That's 0.1%. The NASDAQ ended down 186. That sounds terrible, right? But that's about half of what it was down initially. NASDAQ off 0.75% today. The S&P 500 was off 12 points. That's a little more than 0.1%. Annex Wealth Management is financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite if you're just getting started. The only fiduciary all the time. Know the difference with Annex.
Your financial life is not just about numbers. It is a journey, and Annex Wealth Management aims to help you move through it with clarity. When markets shift, it can be hard to understand what it means for what you have built. Annex offers guidance as a fee-only fiduciary firm, which means their recommendations are built around your best interests rather than commissions or product sales. Annex gives you access to a local team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, investment managers, estate planning attorneys, and client service specialists who work together to create a strategy tailored to your situation. They help clients with investment management, retirement income, planning, tax coordination, estate planning, education funding, and business succession strategies. Annex knows there's different financial plans for different stages of life, and they can help you adjust as things change. With nationwide accessibility, Annex blends personal attention with leading-edge tools to offer an experience built around informed decision-making. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Celebrate active aging at the Enjoy Life Symposium. Join Capri communities and adults 55 plus for a free high-energy day at the Enjoy Life Acting Aging Symposium. Live entertainment, a senior fashion show, and speakers like Melinda Myers and Chef Michael Fecker, the Ukuleles, and Milwaukee Dancing Grannies. Capri Communities brings it all together for one unforgettable day. Wednesday, June 10th at Elmbrook Church in Brookfield. Register now at enjoylifesymposium.com and you'll be entered to win a Packers game day experience. That's enjoylifesymposium.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: an MPS employee being investigated for alleged child abuse.
I'm Julia Fellow. A heated exchange on Capitol Hill.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Looks like they got that accident in the stadium interchange cleared up. Still going to be delayed on eastbound 94 from just before Hawley Road all the way to 35th. Westbound slowing from 27th Street to Hawley Road. Southbound 41 heavy from before Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol. Northbound's backed up from Mayfair up to Hampton. And southbound 43 a heavy spot from about Good Hope Road to about Bender, and then back on the brakes from about Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Showers ending, gradual clearing. Very windy, a low of 43. Tomorrow mostly sunny, a high of 60. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 67 degrees and partly sunny.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a Milwaukee Public Schools employee is under investigation after a child abuse complaint.
Allegedly struck a student Friday afternoon near 65th and Warmont. A 26-year-old man was taken into custody, and a letter sent to families. Wedgwood Park International School says the district immediately contacted police and Child Protective Services following the incident. Police say potential criminal charges will be referred to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. This comes just days after a separate alleged student and teacher child abuse incident at Engelberg School. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Domestic violence-related homicides on the rise. Executive Director of Sojourner Family Peace Center, Carmen Petrie, says many cases have doubled, with 17 already this year compared to 32 for all of last year. She tells WTMJ's Point Taken.
For us, the message is we're not going to tell you to leave. We're going to help you decide what the next right thing is for you. For some people, leaving is exactly the right thing to do because the violence is at a level where they're about to be a victim of homicide or you don't know what to do, and we help you sort that out.
The 53-bed shelter offers legal health care and social services.
Colorado authorities have identified the man who was fatally struck by a plane on a runway at Denver International Airport last week. A Frontier Airlines plane attempting to take off hit Michael Mott after he scaled a perimeter fence. Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas.
As we speak, investigators are out continuing to contact family and others who knew him to see if there are additional information that we can learn about his motivations.
Investigators believe it was a suicide, and they're looking into the evacuation of the plane after 12 passengers were hurt.
A big heated back and forth between FBI Director Kash Patel and Senator Chris Van Hollen in a subcommittee. The hearing highlighted recent allegations regarding Patel's excessive drinking on the job allegations, specifically asking Patel about reports that FBI staff had to break into his home because he was not responding. In response, he lashed out about a meeting that Van Hollen had with Kilmar Abrego Garcia in El Salvador.
These are serious allegations that were made against you. They're
The
in a
allegations
lawsuit
are
that
false.
you filed.
You drinking margaritas with a gangbangers,
actually,
true and on
it
video.
just goes to show you
running a $7,000 bar tab at the lobby bar
Patel,
has been filed by your own
this
office.
goes to show
drink during the day. That's
Chairman,
you.
Mr.
This is
Chairman,
the ultimate example of hypocrisy.
Chairman,
I will not be tarnished by baseless allegations
let
and
me ask
fraudulent
the
statements from the media.
the fact that you mentioned that indicates you don't know what you are talking about. Now, here, Director
The only thing I
Patel,
know is you're the one drinking margaritas with felons.
Actually, that's a false statement, and I'm asking you about your statements.
Van Hollen said El Salvador's government officials staged a photo that made their drinks look like margaritas. He released a photo with water and coffee on the table.
President Trump is heading to China, where trade tariffs and the effects of the war in Iran will all be on the agenda.
The latest U.S. government report shows prices rose sharply last month, especially oil prices, amid the U.S. war against Iran. When asked a question about whether his economic policies to lower prices are working, President Trump characteristically took aim at the reporter who asked it.
We had a choice. Let these lunatics have a nuclear weapon. If you want to do that, then you're a stupid person, and you happen to be.
The president also said prices will come down when the war is over. And when it comes to oil,
You're going to have so much oil, you're going to have a gusher of oil like you've never had before.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Brewers carry a 4-game winning streak into tonight's contest against the Padres.
They're one of the best teams in baseball. Look at their lineup. Look at what they've done. Look at their record. They've done well against us over the last 3 years, and we'll have a big challenge.
Pat Murphy gives the ball to Brandon Sproat in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Christian Yelich has been reinstated from the 10-day injured list. Our coverage starts at 6:05 right here on WTMJ. The Broncos and Chiefs will square off in the season's first Monday night football game of the season. The Bills' first regular season game, and their new stadium will be against Detroit Lions, and kick off Amazon Prime Video's Thursday night football schedule. The international schedule will be released tomorrow.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:35. Are you a no-mow May guy? Do you not mow your lawn in May? Tell me why. Why do you do it? It's a simple question. 855-616-1620. Shoot us a text, or you can call that number if you'd rather talk to Nate. He's very social, so call that number. He'll pick it up, 855-616-1620.
He's such a social butterfly.
He is. Look how excited he is thinking about the phone ringing.
And he's thinking about, he loves the No Mo May. He's like a social butterfly.
That's true. I see what you did there. 855-616-1620. Let us know why you don't mow in May. Or let's do this. Do you live somebody who doesn't mow and it kind of ticks you off? What are your thoughts? 855-616-1620.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, Visit freighter.com/heart.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Yeah, that green grass is growing really tall in some neighborhoods. It's no mow May. It's a conservation idea where people don't mow their lawns during the month of May. They let their grass and the weeds grow naturally for a few weeks in the spring. Why people do it? Some people do it because they say it helps pollinators like bees and butterflies, giving them early season flowers for food. It supports biodiversity in neighborhoods and gives insects a head start after winter, the important insects. So that's why people don't mow their lawn. They missed one on there, though. People also don't mow their lawn because they're lazy, and it gives them an excuse not to have to mow their lawn. Do you not mow your lawn? Are you no mow May? 855-616-1620. Operators are standing by to take your phone call. Operator Nate would love to talk to you. 855-616-1620. Explain it to me.
From the 262, trying to help the honeybees because some species are endangered.
That's nice. How about plant some perennials instead that are actually nice to look at and the bees prefer instead of letting your grass grow long? Milwaukee does have guidelines, though, so you can't just go crazy on this. There are guidelines. So even if you're doing no mow May, your grass cannot be more than 7 inches high. 7 inches? That is high. It's a slightly lower limit than some other Wisconsin communities, including Green Bay, Kenosha, and Madison, which have 8-inch limits. The limits are similar in nearby states like Illinois and Indiana. Milwaukee residents, as part of this, also have to keep their noxious weeds in check. So if you do no mow May, you still have to keep the weeds in check, especially the ones that are really bad for your lawn and your neighbors, including Canada thistle, leafy spurge, and field bindweed. So you got to keep those under control, no matter what your deal is, no matter how many bees you want to help or how many insects you want to protect. You need to follow the rules. People follow the rules. Not more than 7 inches, and keep the weeds out of your yard. I love the environment. I like honeybees. The high school I grew up at, the mascot is the Z-Bees.
Oh, please, John.
I went to
you don't
Zion,
Have to be,
the
you don't have to go
Z-Bees.
that far.
But I hate this idea.
Okay. The only reservation I would have is that my dog, I wouldn't be able to find him.
Right. I have that too.
You have very low riding
Yeah.
dogs, corgis.
It's messy. It's unkept. It's neglected. It attracts rodents and ticks and mosquitoes. So you're protecting those honeybees, and meanwhile, the field mice and the rats are running in our neighborhood because you haven't cut your grass. Plant something pretty. How about some hanging flowers that the bees would love to pollinate? And then you cut your grass.
You really want those hummingbirds so bad in your backyard.
I do. I like the hummingbirds. Do you think any part of this is people being lazy?
From being in Shorewood, they put up a little lawn sign that says why they're doing it. Like they're intentional, saying no mow May, and they put the lawn signs.
But it can still be lazy.
Oh,
it's a lot less work to put the sign in the yard than to mow your actual lawn.
There's someone that we both know.
I'm going to say his name. I know who
Don't
it is.
you dare.
Okay.
Who?
He's on TV.
Stop.
On channel.
Stop.
Okay.
Who despises no mow May.
Wow. This is the first thing he and I have probably ever agreed on, ever. Really?
Stop.
You know, I'm
That's
really
it.
close to saying his
Please
name.
don't.
You're really nervous.
I am.
A couple more texts. No, I don't do it anymore. I have a dog. Not only does she fertilize the lawn, but it's easier to pick up after her when the grass is nice and short. LOL. That's for lazy people. This from the 414. Not mowing does nothing to help the environment. I don't agree with that. I mean, I think there's some help. It's just a balancing act. It's not worth the help to the environment to have your grass blowing around 7 inches tall and the weeds sneaking into other people's yards.
Oh, is that what's happening to you?
Maybe.
Is that the pharmacist that lived next door to you?
Julia, you're not going to let me talk about the
No, don't.
guy at Channel 4, and you're going to expect me to crack on my pharmacist neighbor. No, he's a great neighbor.
Okay, we're not going to talk anymore about the lawn.
Let's not name people. So no mow-may. If that's your thing, then okay, whatever. Then it's your thing. Just follow the rules, please. You and I are rule followers. Well, I am more than you.
Oh, please.
You know that's true.
I follow the rules. What don't I follow? What?
Parking structure rules.
Oh, that's done with. I got a ticket.
In the structure?
In that secret spot.
Oh, no.
I did.
Are they writing tickets in the parking structure?
Guess how much the ticket was?
How much?
$143.
What?
I swear.
Was it written by the city or like the people who own this
by the parking
place?
structure? I paid it.
No.
So I can't park in that secret spot anymore.
There are other spots you've parked that you're not supposed to.
You too. I caught you that one time. I caught you that one time.
So I could get a ticket in the parking structure? Are you serious? You're pulling my leg.
I'm not.
You got a ticket in the parking structure?
I swear. 143.
Well, where I park,
what?
Someone high up here told me that I
Oh, yeah.
that I could park there.
I don't do that because I'm like
You're
shocked.
afraid now. Now you're afraid.
My goodness.
$143?
Yeah. It wasn't like a city thing. I
Whoa.
deserve it. I was wrong.
That's a lot though. Ooh.
It was worth it.
Because you got away with it for a long time.
It wasn't a handicap spot.
No,
I'm
it
just
wasn't.
making that very,
That's
very
right.
clear.
No. It
Secret
was
spot.
actually a spot that was a gray area. Seriously, where you were parking.
Yes.
It was not an obvious don't park here.
But no one knew about it until someone told.
I didn't tell.
I hope not.
No. Well, you looked
Rule
at me.
follower.
You know I would never do. I would never
You
tell
would
on
never
you.
do that to me.
It is 3:43 at WTMJ. Traffic and weather up next.
Mark Reinhardt is IT manager at ACS Group. Mark, your company has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for years. Right out of the blocks, would you recommend James to others?
Yes, I've had nothing but a great experience with James Imaging Systems, and I would definitely want to share that with others.
A great experience in what way?
I think it's just a personal touch. They actually listen to our needs, walking our business, and finding out what solutions we need to do our job better.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation, adding up to more bang for your business technology dollar.
Yeah, we are absolutely getting a return on investment on the dollars we're spending with James Imaging Systems.
Mark, safe to say ACS Group is happy?
Very happy with James Imaging Systems. People are smiling.
Put a smile on your face with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
You ever see the sign above the highway? The number of people that have been killed on the road? My wife, my son, and my unborn child were killed by a distracted driver. They were more than just a number.
Your phone isn't worth it. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Mercier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation.
Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros, trust the pros.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lozica. How are the roads at 347?
Well, we've got delays southbound on 43, basically from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette. A little bit more of a delay right past Beecher Street towards the KK River crossing. On the northbound side, 43, we've got backups from Kilbourne up towards North Avenue. Westbound 94, delayed from 30th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound's got backups from just past 68th Street all the way to about 35th. And then on the bypass heading westbound, we've got delays out of the Mitchell Interchange past Loomis. Southbound from about Howard Avenue down through the Hale Interchange to about Forest Home. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Our forecast sponsored by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects.
Here's your 5-day forecast brought to you by WTMJ. Showers ending, gradual clearing, a low of 43. Windy. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 60. Mostly sunny for your Thursday, a high of 62. Friday, more showers likely, a high of 74. And Saturday, really nice, mostly sunny and a high of 80 degrees. Right now, Milwaukee at 67 degrees and cloudy.
So gas prices continue to be out of control. I was shocked once again yesterday. I don't know why, when I went to fill up my tank of gas, and it was just crazy. I saw a funny meme on Facebook. It said, I got a great deal on gas. I used to only be able to put $65 in my tank. Now my tank holds $120 worth of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's shocking at the pump. What is going on? How is it likely to play out? Professor John Peevehouse is with us. He is from the University of Wisconsin. Professor, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I want to ask a pretty basic question. We don't import as much gas as everybody else, or as much oil, I should say, as everybody else. But when something happens way across the world, like in the Strait of Hormuz, everybody here freaks out, even though we don't really have a shortage. Can you take us inside the economics of that? Why does it work that way?
Sure. Great. That's great. So you're absolutely right. Over the last 20, 25 years, the U.S. has become much less dependent on oil from the Middle East or lots of different places. We're largely an energy exporter now. The problem, though, is that it's a global market, and the price is not governed by just what happens in the U.S., but it's what happens all around the world. You know, we saw similar big increases in 2022 with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We're seeing it now with the Iran war and the closure of Hormuz, as you say. And so basically it's like, you know, unfortunately, the rising tide lifts all prices. And so that's, you know, you're seeing that at the pump, kind of as an indirect effect, I would say, of the shortages that are happening across the world. It's just, you know, less supply and high demand leads to higher prices.
But I guess take us inside that, because I hear what you're saying, but if we can make enough here to support ourselves, shouldn't we, to some extent, be insulated by what happens in Europe and China if we don't use most of the product that is part of the global economy?
Well, there's two things inside of that. Number one, again, like you know, it's a global market. So often what's dictating an oil or gas price is the futures market. So it's not what the value of the oil is today; it's what the value in the future is going to be. And even in the U.S. market, the prediction is that oil could get much more expensive, and you know, there may be some producers in the U.S. that may want to sell that oil abroad at this higher price versus sell it here. And so therefore it's going to lift the price up of the U.S., you know, the U.S. oil market as well. A second and a little more pedestrian thing, believe it or not, that's accounting for some of the price spike here. And you've actually seen prices stabilize a little bit. They're not increasing at the same rate over the last week or so. And in fact, in some parts of Wisconsin, prices have come down just a tiny bit. And that's, again, a more pedestrian thing, which is like refineries. So there's a big refinery in Indiana that just had been offline for about a month. There's a couple of big refineries in Illinois that were offline for cleaning. They've all come back online in the last week, in part to hurry to get production back up. And that's why you've seen modest declines in some areas. And so it's a whole set of variables. But on the global side, you're right. Like you would expect us to be sort of insulated from that, but we really aren't because, again, it's a global market. U.S. producers, you know, whether it's BP or folks drilling in the Gulf, could sell that oil anywhere they want.
So according to AAA, diesel has broken a record for our state. Highest ever. Just happened today. $5.84 a gallon. So regular unleaded was 2022. That was during the Biden administration with the Ukraine war with Russia. So could it go higher? Could we break a record? Could we go over 4.92 a gallon in Wisconsin soon?
I think it's possible. I think in the very short term, these refineries coming back are going to, again, give us a couple, 3 weeks buffer here. But yes, I mean, if the underlying geopolitical situation in the Middle East is not resolved, the price is going to keep going up, or it's going to keep cycling up and down. And again, vendors, producers are not going to want to raising lower prices every few days, and so they're just going to keep them high, and they'll probably increase them as an insurance policy against future increases. So it is very possible. And I would say the other thing that's worth noting is, let's say tomorrow the war ends and there's a deal made, the ceasefire comes, it's permanent, all the troops leave the Middle East. It's going to take months for prices to fully come back down. You know, the old saying is gas prices go up like rockets, they fall like feathers. And that's going to be true here, both because, again, like markets move more quickly than ships, you got to get the oil out of there, but also there's been a lot of damage to production. So again, does that directly affect the U.S., like the oil coming in? No, but it's going to keep the global market at a much higher price than it would otherwise, because damaged oil fields, backup production, a lot of wells have been shut down around the Middle East because they just can't do anything with the oil. Those take weeks to get restarted and pumping again.
Professor John Peevehouse is with us from the University of Wisconsin, an expert on foreign policy and international trade. Can the rest of the world that's hit harder, I mean, the president's going to China, we have allies in Europe, effectively pressure the United States to do something differently, behave differently to help them because they're being hit harder than us?
It's a good question. They can. I think the rest of the world has been a little bit unwilling to do that. You could also, another good question is, could they pressure Iran, right? And certainly China is, I think, trying to put the screws to Iran a little bit, and this certainly will come up in the Trump-Xi summit that's going to take place very soon. But yes, I mean, there's any number of ways this could play out. As President Trump has floated multiple times, U.S. friends could try to help open the strait by force militarily. Iran's allies could put pressure on them to reopen the strait, to kind of back down and reach a quick deal with the United States. I don't think anything is going to happen like that in the next couple weeks, so I think we're still several weeks out of this. But look, the irony here is that as a foreign policy person, I would tell you President Trump wants this war to end, and Iran wants this war to end. The president wants the economy stabilized. As the midterms come up, Iran wants to start selling oil again so they can rebuild their economy and, frankly, their military. So everyone has aligned interests here, but there's just kind of little details on getting in the way here, and it's sort of a situation that one doesn't see that often. It's kind of a bit unparalleled in history, I would say.
Professor Peevehouse, President Trump has talked about wanting to pause the federal tax on gas. Mm-hmm. The excise tax is 18.4 cents a gallon. If he were able to do that, if that were to happen in Washington, would you expect that we would automatically get that 18 cents back, like Bing's flipping a switch, or does it not work that way?
It doesn't work that way for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not up to the president. Congress has to approve this. For example, President Biden suggested this in 22, and Congress wouldn't pass it. Congress seems to have more interest in doing this right now, but the problem is that's not a tax that is collected at the pump. It's collected in the refineries. So that tax rebate goes to the oil companies. It doesn't. Now, they might pass it on, but they probably wouldn't pass it on right away. Again, they would want to cover future risk and keep some of that money, but that would not go directly into consumers' pockets. Again, over the medium term, it certainly would come back, most likely, but that's up to the oil companies, not up to the tax collectors.
Are you changing the way you drive?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm stealing my son's little e-bike a lot more now and taking it into work. So absolutely. I think it's affecting everyone. It's certainly going to affect, the diesel prices are ridiculous, and that's going to affect, other supplies of goods and other prices of goods as well. You've been reading stories about different municipalities now, having to suffer for their fleet vehicles, having to pay a lot more. So this is going to have some pretty wide-ranging consequences the longer it goes on.
Professor John Peevehouse is with the University of Wisconsin. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Professor.
You bet. Thank you.
And think about the small companies, food truck operators, landscape companies, roofing companies that are on the road all the time. And if I've already got an accepted offer on what it's going to cost to do my roof or do my landscaping, it's hard for them to now come back and say, you know what, actually, we have to raise that $117. It's tough on small business.
Oh, in every way.
It is 3:57 at WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, is your son, daughter, or grandchild's birthday soon? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Hosting a birthday party is a lot of work. No need for you to cook and organize, then clean your home. How about having your party at the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free, with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or 50, the Mine Shaft will host your party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids will love you more than ever. They even have your cake. I highly recommend the Mine Shaft restaurant for your next birthday party or a really fun, interactive business gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. Click on party planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mine Shaft.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lozica here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Do you know the secret to losing up to a pound of fat per day? Well, at Milwaukee Weight Loss, they do know the secret. Their doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely without any drugs or injections, no serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, none of that stuff. Their program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good, and they have a coach for ongoing support. Their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two, like me. I did. That's about a pound per day. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management.
We have a contractual agreement that we give our clients, this fiduciary standard of care. We also say fee-only fiduciary. So a lot of people are kind of twisting it these days and saying, I'm a fiduciary some of the time. I call them part-time fiduciaries. And that's the reason why we say fee-only fiduciary. That means we do not accept commissions.
Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Click Get Started at AnnexWealth.com.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples. That was easy.
The Milwaukee Auto Show. Bolder and better. At its new location, discover the newest cars and trucks, plus family fun and more. Kids 12 and under are free. The 14th through the 17th at Wisconsin State Fair Park Expo Center. Tickets at AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock-solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
San Diego likes to stay on Pacific time. But here in Milwaukee, we're right on time.
Here's the throw from Perkins. It is going to be in time! Game over!
The Brewers take on the San Diego Padres tonight at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, the president's agenda heading to China.
I'm Julia Fellow. Police investigate after finding a body in the Milwaukee River.
I'm Debbie Lozica. Southbound on 41, still a hefty ride coming in from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive, almost to Burleigh. Northbound's backed up from Mayfair Road all the way up to about Hampton. Southbound 43 also backed up. Keefe all the way through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. On the northbound side, backing up from Kilbourne to North Avenue. And then eastbound 94, we've got some delays right past Brookfield Road, and then back on the brakes from 70th Street all the way to 35th, westbound from 27th to Holly Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ forecast, a wind advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for all of southeast Wisconsin. Gradual clearing tonight, a low of 43. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 60. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Trump making it clear before leaving for China he doesn't care about the rising costs of goods and services that were caused by the war in Iran.
President Trump Tuesday said Americans' financial situation was not even a little bit of a motivating factor for him to reach a deal to end the 11-week war in Iran, despite the inflation report out today.
The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing.
I asked the president to clarify. Is he not considering the financial impact of this war on Americans? He again said the most important thing by far is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Asked about the pressure on Americans now with higher prices, he told me every American understands. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The United Arab Emirates has reportedly launched its own secret strikes at Iran. Since the war began, Iran has targeted the United Arab Emirates more than any other country. And the Wall Street Journal's Shelby Holiday reports it's the first time the UAE has struck back.
They have a very capable and very elite Air Force, even though it's small. It's one of the best Air Forces in the region, and they fly advanced F-16s. So the fact that these weren't detected doesn't surprise anyone because the U.S. also flies F-16s as well as other countries.
U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee announced that Israel did give the UAE defense systems to defend themselves against Iranian fire.
The head of the World Health Organization says global leaders should prepare to see more cases of hantavirus amid ongoing efforts to contain it. So far, the WHO confirmed 9 cases related to that Dutch cruise ship. CBS's Ian Lee.
The World Health Organization has tied a total of 11 reported cases of the virus to the ship, the latest discovered in a passenger quarantined at a hospital in Spain.
Given the long incubation period of the virus, it's possible we might see more cases in the coming weeks.
One American who tested positive but is not experiencing symptoms is currently being held in a biocontainment unit at the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
7 Americans who flew home from the cruise ship earlier are being monitored locally. None has reported any symptoms.
A dead body was found in the Milwaukee River this morning. The medical examiner's office confirms to us they were called to the area of Humboldt and Wright in the River West neighborhood just before 8 o'clock this morning. It's unknown if foul play was involved.
A man facing charges related to a series of street takeovers in Milwaukee will stand trial.
Ricky Alcantara Hernandez of South Milwaukee pled not guilty to recklessly endangering safety and possessing a machine gun. Prosecutors say he organized multiple street takeovers last month, including at Kinnickinnick and Lincoln in the Bayview neighborhood. Videos posted on social media allegedly show Alcantara Hernandez driving recklessly during the takeovers, often drifting within inches of onlookers. He's due back in court next month. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A beloved custard and burger stand in Waukesha reopens after a devastating fire. Oscar's Frozen Custard officially welcomed guests into their new 4,700 square foot space, including a drive-through today. The restaurant on Moreland Boulevard burned to the ground in 2024. The cause was never determined.
Coming up, a 3-time All-Star comes back to the Brewers lineup.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:05.
In an instant, an injury can change your plans, your paycheck, your peace of mind. But the bills don't stop. The calls don't stop. The worry won't stop. Experience and results matter. After 4 decades of fighting for injured people, we know how to win. Because you deserve respect, results, and to move forward. We fight for what's fair so you can get back to what matters most. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us.
Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling, trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com. Time
for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers carry a 4-game winning streak into tonight's contest against the Padres. Here's the manager, Pat Murphy.
They're one of the best teams in baseball. Look at their lineup. Look at what they've done. Look at their record. They've done well against us over the last 3 years, and we'll have a big challenge.
Christian Yelich has been reinstated from the 10-day injured list effective immediately. Coverage starts at 6:05 on WTMJ, and the Broncos and Chiefs will square off in the season's first Monday night football game of the season. The international schedule will be revealed on Wednesday.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:08.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
Time to upgrade your windows that are failing, drafty, foggy, and just flat out unbearable to deal with. At Siding Unlimited, we install beautiful, energy-efficient windows designed to make your home more comfortable and affordable to maintain. Choose the rich, natural look of wood, stylish and proven vinyl, or the incredible strength and durability of fiberglass, all built to battle every Wisconsin season. New windows installed by Siding Unlimited don't just transform how your home looks, they help lower energy bills, reduce outside noise, and maximize natural light in every room, making your home brighter on sunny days. Trust the local family-operated Siding Unlimited to be the company of choice for your next window project. Proven to be the best by earning Pella's prestigious Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. Siding Unlimited, experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Call Siding Unlimited at 262-567-4513 or visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Milwaukee's mourning the passing of really a trailblazer, a guy who was a civil rights icon in our community. WTMJ's Adam Roberts is with us in the studio with that story. Hey, Adam.
Hey, John. Hey, Julia. Yeah, we're talking about Dr. William Finlayson. If that name sounds familiar, he was an absolute trailblazer in the medical world in our city and lived until the age of 101 years old. Anytime you hit the centenarian mark, that's a big deal. But passing away, Dr. Finlayson, this past Monday, so yesterday, his story really is quite remarkable. You don't get a street sign named after you for just anything, and he does have that honor. 5th Street between Walnut and Capitol is named after Dr. Finlayson, who was originally born in Florida and went to the University of Minnesota before coming to Milwaukee in 1958, knowing he wanted to go into medicine, but also understanding that at the time those opportunities were very limited for African Americans, even in the North. But did establish a career as an OBGYN. He's estimated, and the number isn't exact, but he's estimated to have delivered around 10,000 Milwaukee babies over his more than 40-year career before he retired in 1997. Then got married in the 60s, and he and his wife teamed up together for his other great contribution to our city, founding the first Black-owned bank, Milwaukee North State Bank, which was founded in 1971. It operated until 2016. And as I mentioned, the city named a stretch of 5th Street after him in 2022. Here is Dr. Finlayson at that ceremony.
Milwaukee is a great community. We shall make it greater. And I will play a part in that. Thank you very much.
So just as an observer to that, what a powerful voice. Think
Yeah.
about this. He was 97 years old when he spoke before the council, couldn't really get out of the chair, but was still with that commanding voice. Multiple leaders making statements today, including Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson, saying in part with the naming of a prominent street, his memory is appropriately forever part of our city. Also, County Executive David Crowley with a statement out. Memorial plans are still being in the works, but those should be announced in the next few days.
You know, sometimes we wonder the impact people have outside of our little sphere. He was also a longtime friend of Dr. Martin Luther King. He said he and Dr. King were friends, not just colleagues, that they knew each other. They spent considerable time together. And Dr. King died 50 years ago. What a career, what a life for William Finlayson.
And think about this. We have a little bit of a civil rights stretch starting to grow in the city of Milwaukee between MLK, just outside of our studios here. You've got Velar Phillips Drive next to that, Dr. William Finlayson Street, and who knows where that grows from here.
Yeah, and Val Phillips Park, too, is right right down here, too. WTMJ's Adam Roberts. Good stuff. Thanks, Adam.
Of course.
It is 4:13 at WTMJ. Netflix is being sued. The allegation is that they promote and cause addictive behavior. ABC's Royal Oaks with us up next on WTMJ.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Redo Cabinets. Have you been thinking about doing a makeover for the heart of your home? It not only increases the value of your home, it does take a long time to do if you want to do a total rebuild, but you don't have to do that with Redo Cabinets. They'll reface your existing cabinets. Everything custom, everything made right here in the USA, and it's family owned by two brothers who grew up in Delavan. I met them this month. They are absolutely incredible. They grew from the pandemic from just 3 employees to now more than 110. Isn't that incredible? They can do crown molding. And then also, you can take advantage of big savings. 50% off installation of a kitchen remodeling project, a free sink, free faucet, and no payments or interest until 2027. Get a rebuild at a fraction of the cost with Redo Cabinets. Call 414-677-6417, 414-677-6417, or redocabinets.com.
Maybe you call it the spigot. Vince Vitrano here for Horner Plumbing. Time to think about spring. When's the last time you had your hose bib looked at? You want to check for freeze or frost damage? Hopefully you remember to turn the water off before the winter season. You can have my team at Horner Plumbing install a frost-free hose bib. That's a really smart upgrade that will help you avoid more costly repairs in the future. And when you call, tell them Vinny sent you. They'll knock $100 off the cost of your project. The preferred plumbing company since 1969, HornerPlumbing.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Redo Cabinets and Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros, trust the pros.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lazaga, how's our ride rolling?
We got southbound 43 backing up from Keefe all the way through the Marquette interchange, all the way down to the KK River crossing. On the northbound side, backed up out of the Marquette all the way to North Avenue. Westbound 94 going to be slow from about 35th Street all the way through to Hawley Road. Eastbound's got backups from Springdale Road past Barker Road. And then you're back on the brakes from about 70th Street all the way through 235th. We've also got backups on the bypass heading westbound out of the Mitchell interchange past Loomis. Eastbound from the Hale all the way to about 51st. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, showers are ending, a low of 43. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 60. Thursday, sunny, a high of 62. On Friday, showers are likely, a high of 74. Saturday right now looks great. Sunny skies, a high of 80 degrees. Is Netflix too addictive for children? The Texas Attorney General thinks so, and he is suing. ABC's Royal Oakes is with us. Royal, good afternoon. Kind of give us the crux of this case.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a copycat deal because, as you know, Meta has been slammed in New Mexico and California for hundreds of millions of dollars for addicting kids to the endless scroll of TikTok and Instagram. Well, now the Texas Attorney General is saying, you know what? I think Netflix is just as guilty because, you know, when you finish watching Steve Carell and Rooster, the finale was on just the other night, the next thing you know, Netflix puts up a story, a movie, a show that it thinks you'll like. And the argument is this is addictive not just to kids, but also adults. It's kind of this total surveillance society where they use your personal information. They know what you like because they know how many seconds you spend watching it, whether you forward shows to your friends. And according to Texas, that's just wrong, and Netflix should stop it and pay millions in damages.
And what may be brought up, Royal, in court, and John, I don't know if you know this, but depending on what you previously streamed, let's say that you see Emily in Paris, a new season came out, there's going to be a different photo depending on, you know, just based on the little photo, the preview, based on what you like. So if you like horror movies, maybe Emily in Paris will have a little bit more of a spooky look. Do you know that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how much they want you to press on the next thing.
Yeah, it's a very sophisticated system. And, you know, there are two sides to the coin. On the one hand, you could argue it's addictive. On the other hand, you could say, well, I kind of like it. That's why I'm willing to pay $9.99 a month.
I like
because
it.
when I finish watching Billy Bob Thornton with Landman, I want to know about similar shows. Oh, there's another show by Taylor Sheridan. But not everybody agrees with it. And, you know, there's traction in these other lawsuits, mostly involving kids and, you know, serious issues, suicidal ideation, body image issues, bullying, traced to their addiction to social media. Really, does that philosophy also transfer to what Netflix or HBO Max or Apple do when they want to tell you, hey, you enjoyed one show, here comes another one that's similar?
Well, Netflix did change the way that we digest even shows too, right? I mean, you get the full season right away and you can just binge watch the whole season or not. I mean, Royal, from a legal perspective, do you see this having any traction? I mean, Meta is I guess, a media business, and there is some precedent.
Yeah, I don't see this succeeding the way some of the Meta suits do. First of all, I think you have a more sympathetic angle when you're just focusing on the kids and you're talking about real serious addiction issues. When you're talking about Netflix and HBO Max, Apple, and the other platforms, it just doesn't seem as serious, and you might find it a little harder to convince that supermajority of a civil jury, 9 out of 12, for example, in California, similar in other states. It just may not convince jurors that this is something where they should shut Netflix down or cause them to toss out their business model.
Has Netflix responded?
Oh yeah, they say there's absolutely no merit to this. They have some guidelines and guardrails to help avoid the addiction problem, but fundamentally they're saying that they're substantively different from somebody like TikTok or Instagram, where it is a 24/7 constant scroll, and kids end up watching for hours and hours. I don't think too many people spend hours watching the available Netflix movies, so the case does seem a little bit weaker.
What sort of information do they collect about kids' profiles? Do we know?
Oh, sure. They find out what the kids like, because when you watch something like TikTok or Instagram, these folks know exactly how many seconds you spent watching, how many times you said, I like it, how many times you forwarded it to a friend. And, you know, if you're a Family Guy fan, I am, I'm personally, I don't know if you've had this experience. If I watch a couple of Family Guy clips on Instagram in a row, suddenly I'm getting 7 or 8 of them in the next 20 or 30 minutes. So, yeah, they absolutely tap into what you like. And for children, the case is more persuasive.
I like this. If I'm on my Facebook feed, and I like to watch pickleball videos, and I like that then more of them populate into my feed. When I'm watching Netflix, I like that I watched a documentary on Pele, and it's going to recommend other sports documentaries.
Yeah,
to me, that's one of the advantages.
But
I
I have
pay
to
extra
do my
for that.
laundry. I got to get my stuff done, and thank goodness I have the same profile as my husband, so I messed up the algorithm, Royal. Look, that's what you do.
I have 3 friends who have injured their knees and their ankles playing pickleball. They should have watched the pickleball videos instead of getting out there and wrecking themselves.
Yeah, there is some truth to that. This is a little bit different, Royal, but I wonder, where do we draw the line on the legal front? I mean, should Doritos be sued because they put stuff in there that makes it addictive and kids want to eat more and more Doritos after they've eaten 3 Doritos? I mean, isn't there some personal responsibility somewhere?
Well, I think there should be. It's funny you mentioned that. My podcast, Too Many Lawyers, tomorrow I'm interviewing Steve Middleman, who is a longtime stand-up comedian, but now he's an author. He has health, lifestyle, fitness books, and he has an argument. He thinks we should be suing the Doritos people because he thinks that they are just as evil in terms of addicting kids, young people, as these purveyors of social media. Maybe he has a point. On the other hand, I don't know if Americans are prepared to go that far and say, hey, if food is bad for you, we're gonna sue Big Food.
Well, Doritos probably leads to more health issues than Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely.
I must have been before my time, gentlemen, because I would watch over and over and just rewind on the VHS tape The Little Mermaid. That was my streaming. And I feel like I'm just fine.
You turned out all right.
When I was a kid, a disc jockey would play the same Beatles song over and over until the calls mounted up saying, no, we want you to go to the Beach Boys. So it was ever thus. I mean, people, if they like something, they want to have it more and more. And, there's an argument for saying, well, why shouldn't the advertisers be rewarded financially if they give folks what they want?
Yeah, I literally wore out tapes of High Infidelity by REO Speedwagon. Like, you just, break the tape. ABC's legal analyst, Royal Oakes. Royal, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks.
It is 4:24 at WTMJ. Nate's like, who's REO Speedwagon? He's like, what is it? He knows who they are. Let's check the markets, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Here we go. Everything rebounded a little bit. The Dow actually ended up 56 points after being down most of the day. That's 0.1%. The NASDAQ was off 185, but that's half of what it was off earlier in the day. It was down almost 0.75%. The S&P 500 fought back to almost even. It lost 12 points on the day. That was down 0.1%. Annex Wealth Management is financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Know the difference with Annex.
The Crew take on the Dodgers Friday, May 22nd through Sunday the 24th. Join Boy Band Night on Friday the 22nd, presented by Wintrust. Grab a theme night ticket for a Brew Crew Boys t-shirt and stay for post-game fireworks presented by T-Mobile. Then on Saturday, the first 25,000 fans collect a patriotic Brewers hat. Close it out with Family Sunday fun as the first 5,000 kids 14 and under get a Brewers pennant on the 24th, courtesy of Joy. Grab your seats at Brewers.com.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. I love the guys at Connect because they put me in a better space. I feel better every single time that I've been there. For me, it's Thursdays, and I look forward to it because I'm all set for the weekend. I can work in the yard. I can play with Theo, the grandson, when he's in town. I can do it all feeling just great. If you're like me, between work screens and everyday life, your body can feel just stressed. Headaches, poor sleep, low energy, it all adds up. Connect Chiropractic takes care of it all. Check them out at Connect Chiropractic. Locations in Tosa, Delafield, and Oak Creek. Connect with Connect.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, you're gonna love it all. When you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Looking for a getaway with fantastic outdoor recreation? Sheboygan is a perfect destination. Hike or bike through Kohler Andre State Park and other local parks. There are all kinds of water sports, including surfing, paddleboarding, and kayaking. Sheboygan's walkability takes you to South Pier. Visit shops, play mini golf, and enjoy fine dining. Shop their farmers market and take in live music. It's the Malibu of the Midwest. Plan your getaway today at visitsheboygan.com.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God. Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There you go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Some of our customers want a glass shower door for the look. Some want it for a better use of their space, while others need a new glass shower door just to be safe. Like a customer we had last month. Her daughter had been hounding her to turn that old bathtub of hers into a walk-in shower. She was afraid her mother might slip when there was no one around to help her. Stepping over that bathtub wall isn't exactly safe, and besides, those old bathtub floors can be kind of slippery too. Installing a new glass shower door is pretty affordable. And not only is it safer, but it also gives your bathroom a great new look. And when you stop in our showroom, you'll see just how many options we have to give you the look you want. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. And glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
The Milwaukee Auto Show. Bolder and better at its new location. See the newest cars, trucks, and SUVs from more than 25 brands. The 14th through the 17th at Wisconsin State Fair Park Expo Center. Tickets at autoshowmilwaukee.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Roger Daltrey of The Who. A great night out with his electric acoustic band performing Who hits, Who rarities, and gems from his solo career. Roger Daltrey. September 15th, the Riverside Theater. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at papstheatergroup.com.
Thank you so much.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: police investigate a deadly fight.
I'm Julia Fellow. Epstein survivors speaking out again.
I'm Debbie Lazaga on westbound 94, right about at just west of Brookfield Road. We have some debris in the roadway. It looks like it might have been a ladder that came off of a truck, and they were taking it. They pulled off to the side so they could grab it, and they put it back up onto the truck. So it should be gone pretty soon if it isn't already. Delays on westbound 94 starting from 25th Street to Hawley Road, back on the brakes from the county line all the way to about Brookfield Road. And then we've got eastbound 94 slowing down from Highway 16 all the way through the Barker Road area, back on the brakes from 76th Street all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for all of southeast Wisconsin. Stray showers early, low of 48. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, windy, a high of 60. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, police are investigating after an elderly man dies in a fight. They responded about 4:30 Monday afternoon to 104th and Hampton on Milwaukee's northwest side. A 71-year-old died from injuries at the hospital. A 65-year-old was arrested after turning himself into police. The cause of the fight is unknown.
Domestic violence-related homicides on the rise across the county. Executive Director of Sojourner Family Peace Center, Carmen Petrie, says the shelter has reviewed about 2,000 near homicide cases in the past year. She tells WTMJ's Point Taken.
So for Sojourner, our strategic issues are housing, the lack of housing, which is a severe, it's a barrier in people's lives, extreme poverty, child maltreatment, lack of housing, food insecurity, poverty. We can't solve those issues. We know they impact our clients.
Petrie says 1/3 of domestic violence-related murders have no reported history of physical abuse.
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes testified at an unofficial field hearing in Florida. They questioned how the late disgraced financier was able to secure a controversial plea deal in Palm Beach County years ago that allegedly allowed him to continue abusing young girls. CBS's Christian Benavides.
Jeffrey Epstein survivor Courtney Wild told Democrats on the House Oversight Committee the abuse she suffered as a 14-year-old was only the beginning of her ordeal.
What happened to me was terrible, but what happened after that by our own government changed my life just as much.
Tuesday's hearing focused on how the powerful financier was able to secure a secret deal in 2008, where he pleaded guilty to lesser prostitution-related charges in Florida, avoiding federal prosecution.
The Justice Department collected more than 6 million pages potentially related to the case.
Senate Republicans plan to move forward with a proposal to give the Secret Service up to $1 billion for security upgrades to President Donald Trump's White House ballroom project. They argue the enhancements are necessary after a gunman tried to assassinate the president at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer accused the GOP of prioritizing the president's ego over the needs of everyday Americans.
Americans want relief. Americans are answering and saying, give us relief. But the Republicans just say, we were going to give you a ballroom. That's not leadership. That's Versailles economics, brought to you by the ballroom Republicans.
The president previously said private donations would pay for the construction.
FBI Director Kash Patel clashed with a Democratic senator at a Senate Appropriations Subcommittee hearing.
Under questioning from Maryland Democrat Chris Van Hollen, the FBI director fiercely denied a report in The Atlantic that he has a drinking problem. And Kash Patel accused Van Hollen of sipping margaritas with Kilmar Abrego Garcia in El Salvador last year.
You drinking margaritas with a gangbanger is true and on video.
At the time, Van Hollen insisted neither he nor the then imprisoned Abrego Garcia drank from the glasses.
Coming from the mouth of an FBI director to make provably false statements in a hearing like this is extremely troubling.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Closer to home, TOSA leaders will take a closer look at the future of its city hall and public library.
City officials will lay out 4 possible concepts for renovating and updating the building at tonight's Committee of the Whole meeting. The options range from basic upgrades to more extensive plans that include larger community spaces, improved accessibility, and energy-efficient designs. City leaders say the project has been in discussion for more than a decade, with some parts of the building dating back to the 1950s. No vote will happen tonight, but public input is expected throughout the summer. A final decision could come later this year. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. And the winners of 4 straight games, the Brewers homestand continues tonight with Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Padres. Christian Yelich has been reinstated from the injured list. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 right here on WTMJ. And as the NBA scouting combine continues, Bucks are working with a parallel path with roster scenarios that include Giannis and scenarios that do not. ESPN's Shams Charania.
Any conversation that the Bucks are going to have with Giannis Antetokounmpo, from my understanding, it's going to be a very simple one. Do you want to stay here and commit long-term in June? The answer from all accounts is going to be no. And at that point, the question is going to be, where does Giannis want to go?
The Bucks are expected to have clarity on Giannis' future in Milwaukee before night 1 of NBA Draft, scheduled for June 23rd.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:36.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, They're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
4:37 on WTMJ. Julia Fellow here alongside John Mercure. And we have on the text line Jennifer Smea with HAWS, Waukesha. This has been a long ongoing saga with Ridgeland Farms. Many of the Beagles have been rehomed and are rescued, as a lot of the activists say. And Jennifer, how many Beagles do you have coming to you right now? What's the latest?
We have 24. They are out of the truck. They are in kennels, and they're starting to get to know each other. We actually have a little mini play group going on right now with some of them that are a little bit more confident. They're kind of wandering in between their kennels. We allow the doors to be open, and they're kind of wandering in between and getting to know each other, and lots of wagging tails, lots of really happy-looking dogs right now.
Oh, my gosh. This is amazing, Jennifer. So
it is.
How do they seem at first glance? I know you're going to really check them over, but how do they seem to be faring?
You know, it depends. Some of them have been just real outgoing right away. There's one that was jumping up against the kennel like, what am I doing in here? I should be up by you guys. This is no fun. And we have a couple others that are kind of not sure what's going on, but their eyes are bright and they're curious. So that's a good sign. They're not, you know, for the most part, they are not hiding way back in their kennels. They're just a little unsure, a little shy, but we don't see a whole lot of shaking going on, just a little bit of nerves, which we would expect. So yeah, a little bit of drooling going on, which again is something that we would expect because this is all new to them, obviously.
Text WATCH right now to 855-616-1620. The Humane Animal Welfare Society is just unloading 24 Beagles, and you can see there's a baby Beagle right there. Jennifer, I know that this is what you do for a living. You live and breathe this. What does this mean to you and your team? I mean, this moment, this big of a story, and you're part of it and helping these animals find a new home.
It's amazing. There's not many opportunities in any job where you get to have this kind of an impact and this kind of a situation. And for us, we're honored to be a part of it. We are thrilled that we can use the resources we have to make such a difference with these dogs. And it's just one of those things that we train for this. We know what to do, and now we get to do it, and we're going to get to see the rewards, and it's going to be amazing. We just know over the next few months we're going to have some of the best moments, and we're really looking forward to those.
Jennifer, will you name the dogs? Will the fosters be able to name the dogs, or do you stay away from that?
I think the fosters probably will be naming them or at least giving them nicknames because, you know, you don't want to call them dog 4125 or anything like that. And we do want the fosters to definitely nurture them. So part of that is giving them nicknames and names. So absolutely, if they're giving them names, that'll be great. We're kind of joking that we want them to name after the Snoopy puppies, the Daisy Hill Puppy Farm, if you remember that back from Peanuts in the years ago.
Yes.
But it's a case of, yeah, they'll get to give them nicknames. Right now they don't have necessarily all of them have names. Some of them I think maybe have gotten nicknames, but yeah, it's kind of we'll see what happens. And, you know, if fosters name them and decide that, well, we're keeping this one, that's also great too.
And this is happening right now at the Humane Animal Welfare Society. Jennifer, what do you see right now?
I see two dogs in particular that are looking at each other like they're long-lost friends and wagging their tails like this is the best thing ever. So I'm seeing lots of happy, lots of really cute dogs. There's one little couple over here that they're leaning on each other. They're not sure, but they're not, you know, hiding too much. They're just kind of unsure, a little shy. But I think that, you know, this is why we know that they need to be socialized in homes because they know each other. They know what it's like to be with another dog. But as far as being with humans, that's the thing that we have to work with. And so they're a little unsure, but I think they're getting there. I mean, it's going to take them a while. We have seen video where it takes, you know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for them to actually just want to come out of their kennel. it's a shell shock that we can totally understand. So we're seeing a little bit of a mix right now, but it's really exciting to see the ones just kind of sniffing and checking everything out.
All right, people are anxious to know how they can help or how they can check out the dogs. What's next for the dogs, and what should people do if they're interested?
Well, what's happening next is they're going to get spayed or neutered as necessary and then go to foster homes. We do want them out of the kennel, and we want them into home life as soon as possible with our fosters, because that's how they're going to learn how to be dogs. Right now, they're used to a kennel situation. They'll probably do fine in a kennel situation, but we don't want to perpetuate that because that's not the end goal. So they'll get spayed, neutered, they'll get out to the foster homes, and from then on, we'll see how they're doing. If people are interested, certainly they can go on to hawspets.org and they can fill out an application, but we are warning everyone, we don't know how long it's going to be. People are going to have to be patient. So right now, the best thing is to, keep an eye out on our social media as to what's going on. And if you can donate to help them, that's awesome too, because they are going to have some medical expenses and they might have some behavioral expenses as well.
So we'll keep this up. You can see the Beagles. They are at the Humane Animal Welfare Society. Jennifer Smea, thank you so much for having us. Text WATCH to 855-616-1620.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. When life changes, who can help? The loss of a partner, divorce, maybe a health crisis. When that happens, what do you do? If it happened today, would you be prepared? The Annex Wealth Management Women and Wealth series continues with Women and Wealth When Life Changes, how women can financially prepare for the unexpected. It's Thursday, May 21st from 6 to 8 at the Annex headquarters in Brookfield, which is a beautiful place. The workshop helps you prepare for the unexpected and be informed. Go to annexwealth.com, hit the events tab, and register for the free seminar. Founded in Southeast Wisconsin, Annex is near your neighborhood. They deliver personalized guidance to help you move forward with confidence and purpose because they understand our community. I know because I'm impressed every time I deal with our team at Annex. It begins with understanding what you own and why. Annex can walk you through it. No commissions, no pressure from sales pitches. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com. There's an Annex near you, or always as close as the computer. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples, that was easy.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lozica here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer, and it allows my dogs, husband, and I to enjoy our patio every season. Right now, get up to $500 off any awning or screen. That's right, get 10% off up to $500 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests. Point taken with Scafidi and Bride.
Now $1 billion earmarked for security improvements accompanying the ballroom project.
So there's a hole in the ground, right? At this point, we can all agree that something needs to be built.
Yeah, at least clean it up, plant some landscaping until whatever happens next.
But who should pay for it? I mean, now that's torn down.
I think that's settled. We're going to pay for it, which is the part that sucks.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ. And check out the weekly newsletter, Extra Points, by texting EXTRA to the talk and text line.
Tehan Greenhouses, they're our sponsor.
Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek. Shop the best selection of blooming hanging baskets, deck planters, annuals, perennials, and vegetables. Prices flat from last year. Buy direct. Tehan Greenhouses.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lozica, how are the roads at 446?
Delays along southbound 41, starting right about at Good Hope Road, all the way down past Capitol Drive, northbound from Mayfair Road, all the way up to Silver Spring. We've also got southbound 43 hitting the brakes at Keefe, all the way down through the Marquette. to almost Howard Avenue. So it's kind of a hard, long, slow crawl through there. On the northbound side, we got delays from Beecher through the Marquette up to North Avenue. And then on the bypass, southbound from just north of Greenfield Avenue, on and off the brakes all the way down and around the Hale to about Forest Home. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, a wind advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for all of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, cloudy and windy, a high of 60. Then it warms up. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 65. Friday, rain is likely, a high of 68. How about Saturday? Sunny and warm, a high of 78 degrees.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got it.
Dr. John Raymond is the president of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and he is with us. Dr. Raymond, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, John.
I think we should get a text watch because he is so well dressed.
Yeah, he's looking spring today, Dr. Raymond. You look nice.
855-616-1620. He's wearing yellow. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, so you can always watch the show. Watch the show. Excited to talk to you today because it's about a story that's been in the headlines. It's hantavirus. We've all heard the basics of the story. Breakout on the cruise ship. Give us the background about the cruise ship outbreak.
Yeah, thanks. So on May 2nd, there was a cluster of passengers on a cruise ship called the MV Hondius that had severe respiratory illness. That ship was carrying 147 passengers. And unfortunately, as of yesterday, at least 8 cases were confirmed, 6 by laboratory testing, and 2 that were suspected. And there have been 3 deaths, 1 critically ill patient, and the other 4 showing mild to moderate symptoms. So obviously something to be concerned. It was reported to the World Health Organization.
And that sounds serious. We all remember COVID, the spread on the cruise ships early in the pandemic. Is this hantavirus something we should be concerned about?
For the general public, no. The public health departments in the different countries are on top of this. Hantavirus generally is not spread human to human. But for the strain that is, it really takes a lot of close physical contact for there to be spread.
So let's get into that a little bit. Let's get into that a little bit. How specifically is it spread? Can you walk us through it?
Yeah, so first of all, in the U.S., hantavirus cases generally happen west of the Mississippi River, and there are 25 to 30 of those per year. Hantavirus is spread by contact with contaminated urine, feces, or saliva from rodents. And in particular, the deer mouse in Arizona is one of the sources. Infections can occur through rodent bites, but generally what happens is somebody is working around an area that has a lot of rodent droppings. So a warehouse or farms or forestry or old storage areas that are dusty and haven't been used for a while, and you stir up some dust and then you get exposed through the lungs to the infected droppings.
So what are the exact, what is hantavirus to start?
Yeah, so there are different types of hantavirus. So we'll start there. It's a family of viruses that are related that primarily infect rodents, but which can, under certain circumstances, be transmitted to humans. So there are 2 types of syndromes that happen with hantaviruses. In the Western Hemisphere, in the U.S., hantavirus can cause what's called a pulmonary syndrome. In Europe or Asia, it actually causes something that is less significant but can cause kidney failure as well.
It's just something we need to know more about. What about symptoms? Are there common symptoms?
Yeah, so here's the problem. I mean, this is an uncommon disease that has common symptoms, so we'll start there. They usually start 1 to 8 weeks after exposure, depending on the type of virus, and they include things like fever, headache, muscle ache, some GI symptoms like abdominal pain, nausea, or vomiting. And both of the strains here in the Western Hemisphere, the one in the U.S. is called the sin nombre, or without name strain, and the one on the cruise ship is from South America. It's called the Andes strain. They start with flu-like symptoms, fever, chills, but they can rapidly progress to lung problems and severe difficulty breathing. And these strains can cause a range of illnesses, but in the Americas, the case mortality rate is anywhere between 35 and 50%. So it's really, really significant. And the cruise ship strain that the people in the MV Hondius contracted seem to be from Argentina.
Are there drugs that can treat the infection?
Not that we know of. Basically, you need early supportive care, intensive care unit, oxygen, sometimes intubation, and support for your circulatory system.
Wow. Who's at risk of hantavirus?
Yeah, that's a good question. Anybody whose occupation, housing, or travel would expose them to rat or mouse droppings. In the U.S., again, the deer mouse is the most commonly implicated rodent. And also people that are high risk for transmission from person to person from the Andes strain, that's not the one in the U.S., but the one in South America, are usually very close contacts with the individual. So a loved one, somebody that shares a house with a person, or a healthcare provider that's exposed to them in the early parts of the illness.
Dr. John Raymond's with us. So, Dr. Raymond, earlier you described that it's usually contracted from old storage facilities, maybe barns, places that are dusty with, brittle droppings.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the cruise ship? If we can go back to that, does it mean the cruise ship passengers maybe contracted the virus from rats that were on the ship?
It's a really good question, and I want to be fair to the cruise ship, but the answer is probably no. When you think about it, a cruise ship storage rooms are high turnover. So it's unlikely that there was a place that was out of circulation for a long time. And in fact, they have done contact tracing and looked at what now is identified as case 0. And the individual actually was at a dump in Argentina doing bird watching. He was an ornithologist, and that was an interesting site to look at birds. So he contracted the illness most likely from being out in an area that it was infested by rats. Unfortunately, he died. And his wife, while transporting the body back home to the Netherlands from South Africa, also collapsed after boarding the plane, and she died also from hantavirus.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's spread. It's spread to now 11 total people, including 3 who have died. So, I mean, I don't know. That just seems a little scary. And then we're hearing about the Nebraska location where they're being quarantined.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that Nebraska location?
Yeah, so the University of Nebraska Medical Center has a world-class quarantine facility that they built right before Ebola. It's the best in the country. It's right up there with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Really great facility. So the Americans and one UK citizen who lives in the U.S. that were on that cruise ship are now in quarantine at the quarantine center at University of Nebraska. I think that's out of an abundance of caution because there has been now documented human-to-human transmission. But again, the incubation period can be as long as 8 weeks. So these folks are going to be quarantined for quite a long time. The cruise ship, the exposure we think happened in early April with that ornithologist. But people on the ship could have been exposed all the way through last week.
If you were on the ship and you were coming home with no symptoms, would you be nervous right now?
I'd be paying attention. If I had a fever or aches, I would definitely get care right away, and probably the Wisconsin Department of Health. And as far as I know, there are no people from the cruise ship here in Wisconsin would recommend quarantining.
I'd be nervous. I'd be like any sniffle I have, any.
Oh, me too.
Am I warm? Am I warm? I mean, that's just me, but I think
sense.
I would be nervous.
The doctor who was treating them got infected.
He did. He's has a documented infection. He's under quarantine, apparently doing reasonably well.
How about good news of the week, Dr. Raymond? Do you have some good news of the week?
Yeah, I'm a healthcare provider, and I have a real fondness for the entire healthcare team, but especially nurses. So this is International Nurses Day. So if there's a nurse that you know or is in your family, give them a hug. Tell them they do great work, because they do.
That's so nice. That's really, really nice.
I thank all the nurses. I've never, ever had a problem. They work so hard. Thank you so much.
That's
to all
a
the
calling
nurses.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Always good when you are here, Dr. Raymond. Thank you so much.
I have fun with you, John and Julia. Thank you.
Another good news bit is that the Beagles are coming out of that Madison facility. They're in Waukesha. They've just arrived. They're on the ground. Elizabeth Lintonen from WTMJ is there, and she joins us live coming up in about 10 minutes or so here on WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A second Titletown Brewing Company location planned in West Bend ties into a company strategy that aims to shift a larger percentage of the brewery's sales from wholesale distribution to consumer. The Green Bay-based company will open the second location at 401 North Main Street by the end of June. A development agreement for a proposed housing project planned on the grounds of the former Maple Crest Country Club heads to the Village of Somers Board on May 12th. If approved, Home Path Financial Limited Partnership seeks to break ground on the first phase of a 285-unit residential project as early as June. A property housing Legacy Bakehouse's manufacturing operations in Pewaukee changes hands for $5.58 million. Legacy Bakehouse will remain at the property as a tenant. I'm Linda Spice for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. Retail chains, streamers, even our phones come with plus. And to think it all started with Hasselus Mattress, because nobody has more plus than us. Right now at Hasselus, get a Queen Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459, but Hasselus has it for just $794. Plus, through Monday, you'll also get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big name brands. Plus, free financing. Plus, free next day delivery and setup. Plus, free haul away and disposal of your old mattress. Plus, employee free showrooms. Get all this plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hasselus Mattress. Woo! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Save big on Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more every day from 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. What if your screens could disappear until you needed them? Meet Pella's 250 series vinyl windows with the accordion hidden screen, designed to give you a clearer view with 44% more light than conventional screens. The hidden screen appears when the window opens to let in the fresh air, then tucks away when you don't need it, giving you a view that's clear, beautiful, practical, and even easier to clean. The right windows and doors can improve comfort, boost energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's overall style. With Pella, you'll get expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and the way you live. They guide you every step of the way, helping you choose the right options for your home, your style, and your budget. If you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now's the time, because Pella of Wisconsin has 0% financing options available so you can pay over time. Get the look you want for the home you love. Set up your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Looking for a getaway with fantastic outdoor recreation? Sheboygan is a perfect destination. Hike or bike through Kohler Andre State Park and other local parks. There are all kinds of water sports, including surfing, paddleboarding, and kayaking. Sheboygan's walkability takes you to South Pier. Visit shops, play mini golf, and enjoy fine dining. Shop their farmers market and take in live music. It's the Malibu of the Midwest. Plan your getaway today at visitsheboygan.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Traffic is sponsored by the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association, supporting communities and residents through advocacy, education, and service. Where you live matters. Get the answers you and your family need about assisted living in Wisconsin. Start with clear, trusted guidance by visiting whereyouLiveMatters.org today.
San Diego likes to stay on Pacific time. But here in Milwaukee, we're right on time.
Here's the throw from Perkins. It is going to be in time! Game over!
The Brewers take on the San Diego Padres tonight at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: does economics factor into the president's negotiations on Iran?
I'm Julia Fellow. A Milwaukee County employee was just hit by a truck.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 94 backing up from Highway 16 pretty much all the way past Barker Road. You'll be back on the brakes from just before 76th Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound, you're backing up from about 20th Street all the way to Hawley Road. You're back on the brakes from the Zoo interchange to about Moreland Road. Southbound 43, watch for delays from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Wind advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for all of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, cloudy and breezy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, cloudy and windy, a high of 60. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Trump says he's not weighing the economic burden of the Iran war on everyday Americans when negotiating a deal. Before departing to China, the president responded,
The only thing that matters is that I'm talking about Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Since the war started in February, gas prices have spiked more than $2 a gallon. The inflation report also increased in April.
Police are investigating after an elderly man dies in a fight. They responded at about 4:30 Monday afternoon to 104th and Hampton on Milwaukee's northwest side. A 71-year-old died from their injuries at the hospital. A 65-year-old man was arrested after turning himself into police. The cause of this fight is not known.
The Senate has confirmed the newest governor of the Federal Reserve, and he's soon to be confirmed as chair. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
The motion to confirm Kevin Warsh as a member of the Fed's Board of Governors passed 51 to 45. Pennsylvania's John Fetterman was the only Senate Democrat to join Republicans in voting in favor. A separate vote to confirm Warsh as Fed chair is expected later this week. Warsh's confirmation is being made possible by the Justice Department's decision to drop its criminal probe into outgoing Fed chair Jerome Powell. GOP Senator Tom Tillis insisted on it.
Jerome Powell ends his time as Fed chair on Friday.
The head of the World Health Organization says global leaders should prepare to see more cases of hantavirus amid ongoing efforts to contain the virus. So far, the WHO confirmed 9 cases of the Andes strain of the virus linked to the Dutch cruise ship. CBS Ian Lee reports.
While the Andes strain responsible for the deadly outbreak can spread from person to person, experts stress this is not the start of another pandemic.
It is less infectious. COVID was airborne. Most of the transmissions with hantavirus are direct, intimate contact.
Health officials say symptoms of the virus can appear up to 42 days after exposure, but they insist the risk to the public remains low.
7 Americans who flew home from a cruise earlier are being monitored locally, and none have reported any symptoms.
Milwaukee leaders are remembering a trailblazer in healthcare and civil rights. Dr. William Finlayson, one of the first black doctors to practice medicine in Milwaukee hospitals, has died at the age of 101. Alderman Russell Stamper says his impact is lasting.
Dr. Finlayson was a leader and legend in this city, delivering over 10,000 babies in Milwaukee.
Beyond medicine, he played a role in the civil rights movement and helped launch Milwaukee's first black-owned bank.
Coming up, incredible news for the Brewers.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04. John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, during our spring fencing sale, save 25% on Krylon brushable and spray paints, $10 off Gordon's 2.5-gallon liquid weed and feed or Trimac concentrate, and 16 packs of Blaine's brand AA or AAA batteries, just $6.99. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
The Milwaukee Auto Show. Bolder and better. At its new location, discover the newest cars and trucks. Plus, test drive several vehicles right at the show. The 14th through the 17th at Wisconsin State Fair Park Expo Center. Tickets at autoshowmilwaukee.com.
Kessler's Diamonds. Kessler's Diamonds.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Christian Yelich has been reinstated from the 10-day injured list. The Brewers carry a 4-game winning streak into tonight's contest against the first-place Padres.
They're one of the best teams in baseball. Look at their lineup. Look at what they've done. Look at their record. They've done well against us over the last 3 years, and we'll have a big challenge.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Our coverage of tonight's game starts at 6:05 on WTMJ. And the Broncos and Chiefs square off in the season's first Monday night football game of the season. That's been announced today. The international schedule will be revealed on Wednesday.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha, and they've got something big going on. I mean, really big. It's the Ford American Value for American Values employee pricing event. That's right. Right now, you pay what employees pay. That's employee pricing on a huge selection of new Fords, and here's what really stands out about that. Griffin Ford has one of the largest inventories in Wisconsin, so you're not settling. You're picking exactly what you want, from the pickups to the heavy-duty trucks. Maybe it's a fun little car. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I bought my all-time favorite vehicle, the Ford Explorer. With the auto show coming up, a lot of people are starting to shop, but you don't have to wait. Do it now. The deals are already here. If you've been thinking about a new truck or SUV, now is the time. Stop into Griffin Ford on Main Street in Waukesha. Easy to get to right off the interstate, or shop online at griffinford.com. Griffin Ford, best service, best selection. Jim Griffin's team's going to take great care of you. Griffin Ford, where value meets. Julia, the Beagles have arrived at the Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS in Waukesha.
Just this past hour.
They're so cute. Jennifer Smea joined us exclusively about 30 minutes ago talking about the journey from Madison to Waukesha. WTMJ's Elizabeth Lintonen is there at HAWS. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, John.
Can you see the dogs?
I can see the dogs.
What are they doing? Paint the picture.
They have separated them all into different pens. So there is, a long line. We got about 24 dogs this afternoon and 7 puppies. And so the puppies are all in one pen together, super energetic, super, happy to be running around, probably playing with their first chew toys. And then most of the adult dogs are separated at this moment, but pretty soon they'll be buddied up and they'll get to hang out. So it's pretty quiet. It's quieter than I thought for Beagles, but it's very exciting.
What do you mean by that, quiet?
I think Beagles are traditionally pretty loud dogs, but there's not a lot of barking or a lot of whining. I don't think that many of them have ever been socialized to do so. So not a lot of barking, not a lot of whining, just, them getting accustomed to their pens and to this new environment.
Do they seem shy? Do they seem like they're behaving differently than any other dog that we would take home with us?
Yeah, some of them for sure are definitely scared to, leave those kennels that they were brought in and leave those crates, come up to the volunteers that are working tirelessly here. Some of them are a little more energetic, though. I wouldn't say all of them are super shy and timid. I've had a couple come up to me and sniff my hand and, just see what's going on. So it really kind of varies. But yeah, a couple of them are super shy. So depends.
Wow. So Jennifer was talking about how some of them are prancing together and playing together. And I think she meant the puppies. The adults, are they behaving differently?
Yeah, the adults, again, some of them are already out and about on leashes, just seeing what's up, and some of them are a little more timid. It kind of varies from dog to dog. The puppies, however, all of them are super energetic, pretty cuddly. Jennifer got to pick one up, and so they're super soft, super cuddly, super excited to be there.
WTMJ's Elizabeth Linton, and thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
At 5:10 at WTMJ, it is Armed Forces Week in Milwaukee, which is a cool week with lots of different events that honor and celebrate our members of the Armed Forces. It kind of got kicked off last night at the Armed Forces Dinner. It's one of the biggest events in Milwaukee every year. It's military guys in their dress uniforms with their dates. Every branch of the service is there. I was there with Michelle. We went. And the cool thing about this is if you sponsor a table at a gala, you've been at lots of galas. If you sponsor a table, one of the things you have to commit to is that you'll give up 2 of your seats so that a member of the armed services can sit there.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it?
Fantastic.
So at our table last night, we had 2 young Marines that are very young Marines in their dress uniforms, and they sat at the table, and yes, sir, yes, ma'am, very polite, very good posture, upright, very serious. And it was really fun to talk to them about their journey. And they were thrilled because this is the dinner every year where a lot of the politicians in Wisconsin show up. Scott Walker was one of the featured speakers there. Derek Van Orden, who we've had on the show many times, was also one of the featured speakers there. Tom Tiffany came up to me as I was sitting at my table and said, "Hey, how are you and Julia doing?" We've had him on the show several times. What's cool is it's not a night that's about politics. It's a night about celebrating the men and women that wear the uniform. Awards are given out. We toast all branches of the service. There's like a formal toast to this and a toast to that. And it's just a really cool event in a cool venue. It's in the Wisconsin Club. Old school, like the beer barons built that thing with all the engraved wood and the big heavy furniture. And it was really, really cool to be part of it because it's the community coming together to celebrate those men and women.
And you said a friend of the show, MMAC president, Dale Koenga, was in his military garb.
He looked so good, all dressed up, and he's got a lot of awards. He's got a lot of the little ribbons that you wear over your chest.
And there's a nickname for it, you said.
Fruit salad. I never heard this. You see them wearing all their little ribbons and they're different colors and they represent different conflicts or different duties that earned them the ribbon. And the military guys, when they talk about the other ones, they might say, like, you got a lot of fruit salad. That's how they refer to it, as fruit salad. It's just really funny. So it was an honor to be there. And our men and women who wear the uniform deserve every good thing that happens to them. It is 5:13 at WTMJ, the best in the business. Major Garrett up next.
Not just about numbers. It is a journey, and Annex Wealth Management aims to help you move through it with clarity. When markets shift, it can be hard to understand what it means for what you have built. Annex offers guidance as a fee-only fiduciary firm, which means their recommendations are built around your best interests rather than commissions or product sales. Annex gives you access to a local team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, investment managers, estate planning attorneys, and client service specialists who work together to create a strategy tailored to your situation. They help clients with investment management, retirement income, planning, tax coordination, estate planning, education funding, and business succession strategies. Annex knows there's different financial plans for different stages of life, and they can help you adjust as things change. With nationwide accessibility, Annex blends personal attention with leading-edge tools to offer an experience built around informed decision-making. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, as the weather warms up, we're talking Farmers Market, Racine Farmers Market with Dawn Carrillo. And it's Law Enforcement Week. Why not talk about cops and bobbers? What's that all about? How can you get involved? All coming up.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Loziga, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We have a problem off the freeway system. Northbound Highway 100 is closed at Wisconsin Avenue because of a crash. Now, this is also affecting the southbound side, right about at Potter Road or Research Drive. The two left lanes are blocked with this crash, so try and stay away from that area. It'll save you a little bit of aggravation. Southbound 43, we have backups from just before Locust all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. Northbound slowing out of the Marquette up to North Avenue. We've got southbound on 41 slowing down from Good Hope Road to Capitol. Northbound from Mayfair Road all the way up past Hampton. Eastbound 94, watch for a heavy ride from just before Highway 164, pretty much all the way past Barker Road. And then again on the brakes from 76th Street to about 35th, westbound from 20th Street all the way to Holly Road, and from the Zoo to Elm Grove Road. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, a wind advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for all of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, cloudy, breezy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, a high of 60. Thursday, mostly sunny, 65. Friday, rain is in the forecast, a high of 68. And on Saturday, sunny and warm, a high of 78 degrees.
From the White House briefing room to the stories shaping the country, CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett.
Little Birdie says you are on the road. Is that right?
That is correct. I'm speaking to you from Newark International Airport. I am flying overseas on assignment.
National perspective, straight answers, right here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
60 Minutes, Major Garrett is back from the Middle East, and he is with us this afternoon. He is the anchor of The Takeout, and he had the headline this weekend, an incredible interview with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Major, thank you so much for making some time for us.
John and Julia, always a pleasure to be with you.
So you texted me after the interview, and you said that it was intense and it was stressful in a different way than when you interview President Trump or others you've interviewed. Explain that.
Well, as anyone who understands CBS knows, I'm not an employee of 60 Minutes. I'm an employee of CBS News, but this is only my second ever 60 Minutes piece, and every 60 Minutes piece carries a very high bar, a very high set of expectations, as it should. And there's always a tremendous amount of pressure applied to anyone who does any work for 60 Minutes. It's the most dominant news magazine in the history of American television. It's an honor to do anything for that show, small, medium, or large. And this was most definitely extra large in terms of this assignment. So that added a lot to it. And this is a pivotal time in the region. It's a pivotal time in the history of this war with Iran. The Israeli government, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, is a co-collaborator with President Trump and the American government in this effort. So there was just a lot to get to and a lot of potential news to be made. An interview of that magnitude has to make news. It has to teach the public something it didn't know, give it perspective from someone who is a regular conversationalist and strategist with President Trump about the future of this conflict. So there was a lot of pressure, and I felt it every step of the way.
So did you or your producer land the interview? How come you got to go do the interview, this amazing interview?
That was decided by CBS management.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's quite an honor. I mean,
Good
this was
choice.
the story of the weekend, Major.
There was a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, and I tried to deliver.
Okay, so take me into the room. Where were you interviewing the prime minister? What was that like? How much time did you have?
With the Prime Minister?
Yes, Netanyahu, Bibi.
So if you want to see the entire interview, which is nearly 90 minutes, the longest television interview Benjamin Netanyahu has ever sat for in his entire political career, he's the longest serving head of state in history of Israel. So that in itself was something, I didn't know that, but they told me that after the interview was done. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing, full transparency. Obviously, the 60-minute piece ran 14 minutes, so there's a lot that wasn't in there. So you can evaluate the entire interview. So it was almost 90 minutes of direct conversation with the Israeli Prime Minister. It was in a home in which he was staying that weekend in Jerusalem, as you might imagine, heavily protected, lots of layers of Israeli security. if you look at the video, anyone can see that we weren't shooting that as a 60 minutes piece frequently does in like a hotel suite or something where it's a off-site location. This was a home, and that's where the Prime Minister and his wife Sarah were. And for things like this, you have to get there hours ahead of time. Every part of your equipment, meaning my cameraman, my sound crew, all that had to be checked, rechecked, triple-checked, quadruple-checked. I had to be checked, my producers. So all of that happens many hours before the interview. And then we do the interview, and then because we live in a digitized era, all that has to be sent back via internet linkages that are secured and encrypted and whatnot. Well, that takes time, and so, I don't know, from beginning to end, it was at least 12 hours.
What was the biggest piece of news you felt like he made during the interview?
Look, I'm not going to quantify that. I'm going to let people decide that for themselves, but clearly there were parts of this that were most important, I believe, to the American audience. The immediacy of when is this conflict going to end? Who's going to decide? What has to be done that hasn't been done? What's been a success? What has been a surprise? What did you tell the president before this war started about what could be achieved and how easily? There was some very extensive New York Times reporting about this that we wanted to ask him directly about. We did. His answers are very revealing about what was or wasn't conveyed to the president. Clearly, the Strait of Hormuz surprised, if not surprised, the Israeli Prime Minister. It didn't turn out the way he suggested. We talked a great deal about something that's going to be very topical the remainder of this week, President Trump's meeting in Beijing with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Chinese direct military assistance to Iran. The Prime Minister was unusually cagey. That wasn't the unusual part. He's sometimes cagey, as political leaders often have to be. But he acknowledged something in public he almost never does. I know more than I'm willing to say, and I'm going to close my mouth because it's not in my interest to say it. Politicians don't often say things that bluntly and convey to the audience that there's so much more that he could spill that he wouldn't because of diplomatic or strategic considerations. I thought that was an important part of the interview. Also, he acknowledged that there is a decline in support for Israel in this country, meaning America. More on the Democratic side than the Republican side, but it is bipartisan, and he acknowledged that. And he attributed most of that reputational harm not to the war and the prolonged war with Gaza, but to social media. And we plowed very deeply into that ground. There's a lot there that the Prime Minister said that people can evaluate. The other thing that I wasn't sure he was going to say, but I'd gotten some indication he might go in this direction, an eventual and swift at the beginning drawdown of all U.S. military assistance going forward to Israel, currently $3.8 billion a year. He told 60 Minutes for the first time on camera that will end, go to zero, no later than 10 years from now, and quite possibly sooner.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things, I think, fell into the category of genuine news, and that was the whole point of going.
Absolutely. I mean, the comments about going in and getting the uranium. I mean, there was a lot
How
of news.
How do you do it? And that the President Trump has said, I want to go get it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how are you going to go get it? And trust me, as he said, and as is obvious, but for the audience members listening who don't know this, it's buried in Natanz, which is in central Iran. And if we're not taking it out by mutual collaboration with the Iranian government, and we have to take it out by force, that will not be easy. It will take a tremendous amount of time. You'll have to build a military perimeter about the people who do that work. There'll have to be aerial coverage, and it will have to be defended for days, if not weeks. That's a high-risk operation. And so that imperative of getting the highly enriched uranium out is identified by the Israeli Prime Minister. He said President Trump agrees with that. So any contour, any dimension of this agreement, should there be one, about ending this war, will have to be very specific about how that material gets taken out. And if it's taken out by force, all I will tell the people is brace yourself, because it won't be easy.
CBS's Major Garrett is with us. We're glad you had a really great weekend, because it's about to get ugly for you the next few days. Padres are in town. Brewers just swept the Yankees. Padres are playing good baseball, but we like where we're sitting, Major. How are you feeling about the next few days?
You know, it's interesting. The Brewers always play us very tough, especially in Milwaukee. It's a great ballpark. The club clearly plays well there. And my take on the Padres is we're a very strange team to read. Look at the numbers. We've scored 25 fewer runs than the Brewers, and we've given up 26 more runs than the Brewers have, and yet our record is better than the Brewers. We have 5 starters who are at least 50 points, if not 60 or 80 points, below their career batting average, and we still have one of the best records in the National League. We are an anomaly. We are a very strange team. We keep winning in odd and unpredictable ways. We have half the strength in our starting rotation that we thought we would start the season with, and yet we're still not only competitive, we're in first place in the National League West. So all I can tell you is you better hope that our hitters don't find their stride in Milwaukee, because if we do, we're going to jump ugly on all of y'all.
We got Yelich back today, Major. Today. He said, I want
Yes.
some of that Padre.
Look, he is one of the best players in all of baseball, formidable, and I'm really sorry to hear he'll be in the lineup tonight.
It's always fun to catch up, Major. Great work over the weekend, and good luck the next few days. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much.
It is 5:26 at WTMJ. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 56 today. NASDAQ off 186. S&P off 12 points. Know the difference with Annex.
May is here, which means your house is officially done hiding under snow, and now you can see everything it needs. Good news, Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help. Upgrade to energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel, and get $3,000 off your project. Think of it as spring cleaning, but way more impressive. That's $3,000 in instant savings during our May savings event, but it won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
John Mercure here for Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Orthopedic specialists available to care for every part of your body. You get in to see the doctor right away, too. Easy to request an appointment. Call or go online. OHAW is an orthopedic center of excellence in hip, knee, and shoulder replacement, as well as spine surgery. They helped Michelle with her back, and her back is like new. They have the best imaging, the best physical therapist. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Here's what you do. Start your journey to feeling better at the website, which is ohow.com, OHOW.com. Request an appointment. Hit that button. You're obligated to nothing except talking to somebody who can probably help you feel a lot better. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. And it's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, the employee benefits insurance market gets more complex every day.
Thank you, Vince. Great to be here. I'd like to start today with another question for every business owner or individual that provides employee benefits insurance to their associates. Do you really understand how your plan is performing? Is the plan structure optimized, and is this confirmed by the data and analytics that you receive from your broker?
Why are these the key questions, Jeff?
Employee benefit cost escalation is top of mind for business owners today. Data and analytics should be guiding your program design and your cost mitigation efforts. Ask yourself, is your current employee benefits offering delivering the desired outcomes you expressed when the plan was put in place? More importantly, do your employees view your plan as a true benefit of employment? Are your employees educated on how to get the most out of their plan? And is your executive team making data-driven decisions as it relates to employee benefits plan design? If you're uncertain in your answer, you should talk to R&R Insurance.
So what's the message here, Jeff, if a buyer doesn't have answers to these questions?
Having a competitive employee benefits plan can help distinguish you as an employer of choice. Make the time to have a real, meaningful employee benefit discussion with a member of our team.
So why should a business or individual work with R&R Insurance?
Our team of insurance professionals have protected business and designed competitive employee benefit programs for over 50 years. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know employee benefits insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Sponsored by Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek, by Direct from the Grower.
Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek. Shop the best selection of blooming hanging baskets, deck planters, annuals, perennials, and vegetables. Prices flat from last year. Buy direct. Tehan Greenhouses.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a new whistleblower hotline is on the way.
I'm Julia Fellow. The new criticism over the cost of the Iran war.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We still have this crash on Highway 100 and Wisconsin Avenue. Northbound Highway 100 is closed right at Wisconsin Avenue, and the southbound side has a couple of left lanes blocked right about at the same area. So please be careful heading through there if you can. I would avoid it. Just it's going to save you some time. On southbound 41, backing up from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Hampton. A little bit more right past Burleigh as well. Northbound slowing down from North Avenue all the way past Burleigh and closer to Hampton as well. Eastbound 94's got some delays from before Highway 164 all the way past Barker Road. You're back on the brakes from 76th Street to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory is now in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Stray showers early, partly cloudy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, the wind still keeps up, partly cloudy, a high of 60. Right now, Milwaukee, it's 71 degrees and partly sunny.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District is planning a whistleblower hotline for current and former employees amid allegations of mismanagement.
The hotline is not yet set up, but in emails obtained by WTMJ, Executive Director Kevin Schaefer indicates it will help them determine how to proceed with the possible audit of MMSD operator Veolia. Last month, former MMSD employee Steve Jacquard claimed Veolia routinely runs wastewater treatment plants in Milwaukee and Oak Creek under capacity. Jacquard is working alongside advocacy group Common Ground in calling for an audit of Veolia. The company says Common Ground is attempting to harm their reputation. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes testified in what is called an unofficial field hearing in Florida. They questioned how the late disgraced financier was able to secure a controversial plea deal in Palm Beach years ago. That allegedly allowed him to continue abusing young girls. CBS Christian Benavides.
Survivors also criticized the Justice Department's handling of the Epstein files, heavily redacting many files the law required the DOJ to release, while failing to protect survivors' information.
These documents hold disturbing and yet incomplete accounts of my abuse, and they were viewable not only by the entire world, but my child, my students.
Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia says the committee's investigation revealed that many witnesses were never interviewed by law enforcement.
The Justice Department collected more than 6 million pages potentially related to the case. So far, only released about half of that publicly.
Democrats and Republicans grilled Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth as the Trump administration looks to secure a record $1.5 trillion budget. Hegseth faced criticism from both sides of the aisle about the Iran war. News Nation's Hannah Brandt.
Some clear concern expressed about the direction of this conflict and certainly the cost. The Pentagon now estimating this price tag at $29 billion, which is up from the $25 billion that the Pentagon officials said they believed it costed when they were here 2 weeks ago. And that's not even to mention this supplemental funding request that lawmakers are expecting the Pentagon to make to carry out the rest of the cost of the war.
Hegseth told lawmakers the goal of the war is to end Iran's nuclear plans.
The head of the Food and Drug Administration resigned. CBS Olivia Rinaldi.
Back in the Biden administration, there was an effort to kind of tamp down on those youth flavors because they were appealing to young people. More people were buying them. And there was an effort in this administration to reapprove of some of those flavors. Marty McCary, who was the FDA commissioner, was against that.
And that disagreement was over flavored e-cigarettes, and also drew complaints from health industry executives and anti-abortion activists during Marty McCary's tenure.
Closer to home, charges filed in the death of a longtime Milwaukee County public safety officer.
29-year-old Princeton Underwood faces 5 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide in the death of 56-year-old Dennis Johnson. According to a criminal complaint, Underwood pointed a gun at Johnson, his passenger, and 2 children as they drove away from 12th and Locust. Underwood then followed the car and shot Johnson through the window. He died on scene from his injuries. If convicted, Underwood faces life in prison. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, That's All Sports Desk. Winners are 4 straight games. Brewers homestand continues tonight with Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Padres. Christian Yelich has been reinstated from the injured list. And coverage of tonight's game begins right here. We're home of the Brewers at 6:05 on WTMJ. As the NBA scouting combine continues, the Bucks are working with a parallel path with roster scenarios that include Giannis and other scenarios that do not. That's according to ESPN's Shams Charania.
Any conversation that the Bucks are going to have with Giannis Antetokounmpo, from my understanding, it's going to be a very simple one. Do you want to stay here and commit long-term in June? The answer from all accounts is going to be no. And at that point, the question is going to be, where does Giannis want to go?
The Bucks are expected to have clarity on Giannis' future in Milwaukee before night one of the NBA draft scheduled for June 23rd.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 536.
At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get the look you want for the home you love with 0% financing options available. Wisconsin weather doesn't ease you into spring, it keeps you guessing. One day it's sunshine, the next it's wind, rain, or even snow. That's why your windows and doors have to handle everything in every season. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we design with that in mind. Built for durability, efficiency, and year-round comfort. And right now, we're making that comfort easier to afford. Get the look you want for the home you love with 0% financing options available. So you can upgrade your home now and pay over time without even paying a dime in interest. From your free in-home consultation to expert installation, Pella's local team is with you every step, helping you find the right fit for your home, your style, and your budget. With 0% financing options available. Plus, with our 10-year limited warranty, you'll have peace of mind long after installation date. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2026.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, they're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky is with us. Hello, Niz.
Yo, what's going on, guys? How we doing?
A little warmer today.
Yeah.
We have Nest Nansky and Flown Mercure with us.
That's right. Congratulations, Niz.
Wow, what an honor. Oh, my goodness.
The We Energies Peregrine Falcons.
I can retire now.
I know.
Yeah.
There were 10 eggs. Each station, just one name was going to be picked. And Brian won TMJ 4. John won 620.
Let's go, Brian.
Okay.
Very humbled, very flattered. I'd like to thank God. No, I'm just joking. The way I look at it this way, there's a couple thoughts. First off, it is kind of cool to know that, these falcons, they're obviously, amazing species that, they'll get a little bracelet and a tag with my name, I guess, on it, which is cool.
It's fun.
But it's fun, but we all kind of fell into We Energy's trap, right, to talk about it?
Yeah, don't be a cynic, Brian. This is just
okay.
It's fun. It's all right. You know what? I'm putting the Emmys in the closet. The military awards, I'm putting them back in the box. I'm putting the golden egg up on the shelf or whatever we get.
That's it. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Okay, John, I'll take your lead on that. You're right. I shouldn't be so cynical about it. I respect John, and if John is on board and wants to embrace it, I'm right there with you, buddy.
I went crazy this morning. Okay, so John's one of the three chicks at Port Washington is going to be named Flown Mercure. Do you know which location is going to be Brian Nestnansky?
I'm hearing Oak Creek. At least I believe, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything. I believe Monday I'm supposed to be in Oak Creek for a banding type ceremony or something.
Oh, so yours is a different time,
Yep, they're
John.
different dates. So mine is in Port Washington. A couple weeks after that, they just told me they're just spreading them out.
Oh, they're
Cool.
really just spreading
They're
it out.
milking it. Now I'm going to be the cynic.
Dude, I want to ask, can we trade? I want Port Washington. Well, it's no disrespect to Oak Creek, but I mean, my boat's in Port Washington. I'm frequent in Port Washington. I want to see my bird flying over.
Okay, I want to switch too because Oak Creek is closer and it's on the way to my folks' house. So you and I should really see. They probably don't care.
Well, also here, guys,
Yeah.
I'm off on the 29th when John is supposed to be, when Flown Mercure is supposed to be banded. And I was really hoping to hear what, there's new technology that's going to be banded on your chicks,
Yeah,
guys.
that's going to allow us to really track the birds easier, Niz. All right, Julia, they love Julia. So maybe Julia can try to work this out with the We Energies people.
At the auto show.
What was Mercure? What was your bird's name up in Port
Flown
Washington?
Mercure.
Dude, if Flown Mercure drops a big splat on my boat, I'm going to be really upset. Ever.
You'd feel better if it was a bird named after you dropping a splat on your boat?
Nesnansky can go wherever he wants. It's going to be this. It's going to be the strongest falcon around. It's going to be the best, healthiest, strongest.
Oh, my falcon's going to knock yours right out of the air.
I'm going to be watching and nurturing these little Flown and Nesnanskys.
Oh, it's really fun.
It's fantastic.
Yep. All right, Nesnansky.
Okay, I'm back.
What do we
I'm
got?
back. Okay.
What do we got for tonight in the next few days?
All right, I'm glad you talked me out of my grumpiness. Thank you. So for tonight, we have a wind advisory. By the way, winds have peaked close to 50 miles per hour just in the last couple of hours. So it's very windy outside. Wind advisory until 8 p.m. There's still a chance of a stray shower, mainly north of Milwaukee, and then partly cloudy and breezy. Low temperature 48 tonight. Wednesday, partly cloudy and windy, 60 degrees. Thursday, mostly sunny, 56 lakeside, 65 inland. Friday, showers are likely, a high of 68. And Saturday, mostly sunny skies and warm with a high temperature up to 78, guys. I think we can make a run at 80 degrees this weekend.
That sounds good. All right, Niz, have a great rest of the night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
The Brian Nesnansky forecast is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
So my amazing, beautiful mother-in-law is in an assisted living facility in South Carolina. We just moved her in there, and it's great. She's doing great. You know what made the journey easier? I work with my friends at Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living here in Wisconsin. At Azura here in Wisconsin, they're incredible. They are about compassion and empathy, specialized training at Azura, and the lessons they taught me from being in their places, I carried to my mother-in-law in South Carolina. If you're looking for a place where your loved one is going to be loved for real, it's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Many locations in the Milwaukee area. I've been in them. They're incredible, state-of-the-art, and beautiful. Wisconsin-based, family-owned, Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, during our spring fencing sale, save $30 on assorted Rangemaster horse fencing. All in-stock Reliance water heaters are 10% off. And a 43-piece Milwaukee Shockwave Impact Driver socket set, $40 off. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Milwaukee Auto Show. Bolder and better. At its new location, discover new cars and trucks, plus high-end luxury vehicles, classics, and more. The 14th through the 17th at Wisconsin State Fair Park Expo Center. Tickets at autoshowmilwaukee.com.
Finding the right talent is not just tough, it's critical. In a world shaped by rapid change, AI, and evolving skills, you need people who are ready to adapt and lead. Vince Vitrano for LAK Group, experts in recruiting across your organization, finding top candidates, assessing their skills, culture fit, and ability to thrive in the workplace of tomorrow. LAK Group does not fill positions. They build high-performing teams, engaged, future-ready, and equipped to navigate what's next. LAKgroup.com.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lazica. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. We are still dealing with the problem on Highway 100. Northbound Highway 100 is closed at Wisconsin Avenue. Southbound is closed right about at Research Drive. Actually, the two left lanes are closed. You do have a right lane to get through there, but it's not great. We do have a crash there, so just be careful. On southbound 41, backing up from about Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Northbound from about, excuse me, from about North Avenue up past Burleigh. And then eastbound 94, right at the ramp from 164. Here comes another cough. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. The left shoulder's blocked with a crash. Please be careful. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
So gas prices continue to be out of control. I was shocked once again yesterday. I don't know why, when I went to fill up my tank of gas, and it was just crazy. I saw a funny meme on Facebook. It said, I got a great deal on gas. I used to only be able to put $65 in my tank. Now my tank holds $120 worth of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's shocking at the pump. What is going on? How is it likely to play out? Professor John Peevehouse is with us. He is from the University of Wisconsin. Professor, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I want to ask a pretty basic question. We don't import as much gas as everybody else, or as much oil, I should say, as everybody else. But when something happens way across the world, like in the Strait of Hormuz, everybody here freaks out, even though we don't really have a shortage. Can you take us inside the economics of that? Why does it work that way?
Sure. Great. That's great. So you're absolutely right. Over the last 20, 25 years, the U.S. has become much less dependent on oil from the Middle East or lots of different places. We're largely an energy exporter now. The problem, though, is that it's a global market, and the price is not governed by just what happens in the U.S., but it's what happens all around the world. You know, we saw similar big increases in 2022 with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We're seeing it now with the Iran war and the closure of Hormuz, as you say. And so basically it's like, you know, unfortunately, the rising tide lifts all prices. And so that's, you know, you're seeing that at the pump. Kind of as an indirect effect, I would say, of the shortages that are happening across the world. It's just, you know, less supply and high demand leads to higher prices.
But I guess take us inside that, because I hear what you're saying, but if we can make enough here to support ourselves, shouldn't we, to some extent, be insulated by what happens in Europe and China if we don't use most of the product that is part of the global economy?
Well, there's two things inside of that. Number one, again, like you know, it's a global market. So often what's dictating an oil or gas price is the futures market. So it's not what the value of the oil is today; it's what the value in the future is going to be. And even in the U.S. market, the prediction is that oil could get much more expensive, and you know, there may be some producers in the U.S. that may want to sell that oil abroad at this higher price versus sell it here. And so therefore it's going to lift the price up of the U.S., you know, the U.S. oil market as well. A second and a little more pedestrian thing, believe it or not, that's accounting for some of the price spike here. And you've actually seen prices stabilize a little bit. They're not increasing at the same rate over the last week or so. And in fact, in some parts of Wisconsin, prices have come down just a tiny bit. And that's, again, a more pedestrian thing, which is like refineries. So there's a big refinery in Indiana that just had been offline for about a month. There's a couple of big refineries in Illinois that were offline for cleaning. They've all come back online in the last week, in part to hurry to get production back up. And that's why you've seen modest declines in some areas. And so it's a whole set of variables. But on the global side, you're right. Like you would expect us to be sort of insulated from that, but we really aren't because, again, it's a global market. U.S. producers, whether it's BP or folks drilling in the Gulf, could sell that oil anywhere they want.
So according to AAA, diesel has broken a record for our state. Highest ever. Just happened today. $5.84 a gallon. So regular unleaded was 2022. That was during the Biden administration with the Ukraine war with Russia. So could it go higher? Could we break a record? Could we go over $4.92 a gallon in Wisconsin soon?
I think it's possible. I think in the very short term, these refineries coming back are going to, again, give us a couple, 3 weeks buffer here. But yes, I mean, if the underlying geopolitical situation in the Middle East is not resolved, the price is going to keep going up, or it's going to keep cycling up and down. And again, vendors, producers are not going to want to raising lower prices every few days. And so they're just going to keep them high, and they'll probably increase them as an insurance policy against future increases. So it is very possible. And I would say the other thing that's worth noting is, let's say tomorrow the war ends and there's a deal made, the ceasefire comes, it's permanent, all the troops leave the Middle East. It's going to take months for prices to fully come back down. The old saying is gas prices go up like rockets, they fall like feathers. And that's going to be true here, both because, again, like markets move more quickly than ships, you got to get the oil out of there, but also there's been a lot of damage to production. So again, does that directly affect the U.S., like the oil coming in? No, but it's going to keep the global market at a much higher price than it would otherwise, because damaged oil fields, backup production, a lot of wells have been shut down around the Middle East because they just can't do anything with the oil. Those take weeks to get restarted and pumping again.
Professor John Peevehouse is with us from the University of Wisconsin, an expert on foreign policy and international trade. Can the rest of the world that's hit harder, I mean, the president's going to China, we have allies in Europe, effectively pressure the United States to do something differently, behave differently to help them because they're being hit harder than us?
It's a good question. They can. I think the rest of the world has been a little bit unwilling to do that. You could also, another good question is, could they pressure Iran, right? And certainly China is, I think, trying to put the screws to Iran a little bit, and this certainly will come up in the Trump-Xi summit that's going to take place very soon. But yes, I mean, there's any number of ways this could play out. As President Trump has floated multiple times, U.S. friends could try to help open the strait by force militarily. Iran's allies could put pressure on them to reopen the strait, to kind of back down and reach a quick deal with the United States. I don't think anything is going to happen like that in the next couple weeks. So I think we're still several weeks out of this. But look, the irony here is that as a foreign policy person, I would tell you President Trump wants this war to end, and Iran wants this war to end. The president wants the economy stabilized. As the midterms come up, Iran wants to start selling oil again so they can rebuild their economy and, frankly, their military. So everyone has aligned interests here, but there's just kind of little details on getting in the way here, and it's sort of a situation that one doesn't see that often. It's kind of a bit unparalleled in history, I would say.
Professor Peevehouse, President Trump has talked about wanting to pause the federal tax on gas. Mm-hmm. The excise tax is 18.4 cents a gallon. If he were able to do that, if that were to happen in Washington, would you expect that we would automatically get that 18 cents back, like Bing's flipping a switch, or does it not work that way?
It doesn't work that way for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not up to the president. Congress has to approve this. For example, President Biden suggested this in 22, and Congress wouldn't pass it. Congress seems to have more interest in doing this right now, but the problem is that's not a tax that is collected at the pump. It's collected in the refineries. So that tax rebate goes to the oil companies. It doesn't. Now, they might pass it on, but they probably wouldn't pass it on right away. Again, they would want to cover future risk and keep some of that money, but that would not go directly into consumers' pockets. Again, over the medium term, it certainly would come back, most likely, but that's up to the oil companies, not up to the tax collectors.
Are you changing the way you drive?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm stealing my son's little e-bike a lot more now and taking it into work. So absolutely. I think it's affecting everyone. It's certainly going to affect the diesel prices are ridiculous, and that's going to affect, other supplies of goods and other prices of goods as well. You've been reading stories about different municipalities now, having to suffer from their fleet vehicles, having to pay a lot more. So this is going to have some pretty wide-ranging consequences the longer it goes on.
Professor John Peevehouse is with the University of Wisconsin. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Professor.
You bet. Thank you.
And think about the small companies, food truck operators, landscape companies, roofing companies that are on the road all the time. And if I've already got an accepted offer on what it's going to cost to do my roof or do my landscaping, it's hard for them to now come back and say, you know what, actually, we have to raise that $117. It's tough on small business.
Oh, in every way.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 8 to 10 ounce Old Dutch Family Pack Ripples, Dutch Crunch, or Twin Pack Potato Chips, 2 for $5.50. Bicolor Sweet Corn, 3 for $1.98.